You know, everyone's really great at making Star Wars.
Making Star Wars.
With MakingStarWars.net.
Everyone, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and today we're going to talk about, can you guess? Star Wars. That's right, Star Wars. I think I sent Rob the invite link, but he's not here yet. So who knows what happened to Rob? He might have been attacked. He might be stranded somewhere. He might be laying in a ditch. I don't know. We'll just move on with our lives, though. Here we go. So, the Acolyte Jodie Turner-Smith poised to join Disney Plus's Star Wars series. So exclusive, Jodie Turner-Smith, exclusive to Deadline, Queen and Slim and Boleyn is finalizing a deal to join Amandla Stenberg in the upcoming Disney Plus series Star Wars: The Acolyte. Sources tell Deadline. Reps for Lucasfilm and Turner-Smith declined comment. So far, Stenberg, who is playing the lead, is the only confirmed cast member for the Star Wars Universe project from Leslie Headland. Details about her character, including the one played by Turner-Smith, are being kept under wraps. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. Disney Plus said in its December 2020 announcement, in the Star Wars universe, an acolyte can refer to individuals with Force abilities who learn from a more experienced Sith Lord. The series is expected to begin production in London in late fall. So they're pretty far into building sets, though. So maybe. Seems like it's going to be a little bit sooner, though. Turner-Smith, who garnered awards recognition for her starring turn in Queen and Slim, also recently starred in the title character in the miniseries Anne Boleyn. She will next be seen opposite Adam Driver in White Noise. That's Kylo Ren, y'all, which just premiered at the Venice Film Festival, opposite Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler in Netflix's Murder Mystery 2, as well as opposite Vince Vaughn in the Apple TV series Bad Monkey. She is repped by UTA. That's not a UTI. That's different. 111 Media and Johnson Shapiro's Sloot and Cole. So, yeah. Oh, hey, look who it is. It's Robert Pattinson. Are you the Batman?
Sketchinson. I wish I had that physique.
Today's episode is brought to us by Hearts of Kyber. Hearts of Kyber.
Hearts of Kyber, high in fiber, thermal exhaust port to your colon.
The strongest stars have hearts of Kyber.
We're going to get demonetized because YouTube is going to think that we actually have advertisements. They're going to be like, some guy like he isn't even like, oh, what's this? Yeah, they got paid advertisements in this, but
it's the final quip from the film that sells it, really.
He's just telling you.
Yeah. You know, like a real direct fucking commercial. You know, like
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this, and I don't mean this like in a throwing shade kind of way, but just we had leaks from the Acolyte, and gotta be honest, when I'm not saying that what those dudes said doesn't happen. I'm not saying that. What I am asking as a question, not as a statement, is does that stuff happen, but it's not really like the grander point? Like, does that stuff happen to the main character? Because when they're talking about mystery, like a mystery kind of thriller kind of thing, I didn't really get a big mystery. Isn't that what they're calling it? is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets. I mean, the story that was sort of presented was something more along the lines of like, going into the Hunger Games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
So,
shadowy secret.
it's a shadowy secret. We're going to be in a contest. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it could, no, it really could be. It really could be. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I kind of do wonder if we got main character kind of story beats. You know what I mean, about how the main character gets into the world of being an acolyte, but then like, when you get down to it, like there's actually a grander thing at play, a bigger mystery or something. So, Jason, did Durex get back to you about that sponsorship? They said that if they are inventing a polymer that is tinier, and that when they do, they will be in touch when they get their tiny polymers. Something about science, we could solve COVID, but we're doing this or something. I can't remember how it went. But Clone 53 says something isn't sitting right. And that is fair to we haven't seen anything from that stuff pan out yet. And it, once again, last time I'm going to say it, not throwing shade at it. I'm just like being like, because it stopped and started production a few times. And every now and then I do wonder if what got out wasn't necessarily the current iteration of what they're doing and stuff like that, or what's up there, But Meg says, we were all fooled, deceived by a lie. The Acolyte will be Holdo's family 100 years before Amandla. I'd watch it. A bunch of pink-haired ladies. Sounds like my jam. Rick Jones says, maybe they meant misery, not mystery. Maybe it's a misery thriller. We got Amandla Stenberg like putting Darth Vader's knees with that thing with the hammer and hitting it like in Misery. I'd watch that.
The worst. It's the worst. That's a tough movie to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Ever, good movie.
I feel like
just fucking tough, bro. It's so tough.
I feel like people talked about that moment more than ever saw it. Like it got the word got around about Misery like real quick. Like,
man, you're trying to just remember bits and pieces, but if you watch the whole thing through, when you get to that, you know what I mean? By the time you're there,
I've seen it
there
many times. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
Don't
underplay it.
No, it just I mean, it was like that moment though was everywhere. That was like, I don't know. It was
like it though. You gotta remember, it came out during the time when like we were getting big business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we were like in the we went from Down and Out in Beverly Hills to like big business. You gotta remember like the real like 3 Men and a Baby,
what do you mean?
Shows up.
War of the Roses. What are you talking about? We were
that did not do well, by the way. You just remember War of the Roses because it was on cable.
It was on video. I know from video.
It wasn't a big hit,
Mm-mm. War of the Roses couldn't get arrested.
Let's go take those people that we loved in Romancing the Stone and tolerated in Jewel and Islands, make them want to kill one another. That's great.
Yeah, they're back, but they don't like each other.
It'd be like, imagine if the third movie in the Goldie Hawn Kurt Russell series was Misery. It would have fucked the whole world up, dude. Goldie Hawn breaking his knees and shit. Like,
man, he got Goldie Hawn in lockdown in her prime and saw the Phoenix Lights from a fucking airplane. Dude's living it. Gotta say, he's living it. King Chris said, I feel like she will get into the dark side, and the deeper she goes, the more she discovers about its true nature. Maybe she thinks it's the path she wants, but realizes she was wrong. I think that sounds likely to happen. I mean, most likely. And people were asking, is Jodie Turner Jackson going to be the sister? Now, she looks fucking fantastic. So if I didn't look up her age, I would have no idea how old she is, which for being on screen in a movie, maturity, I think the airs that you have about you kind of like, would be more of would infer her age. but she's like 36, so she is way too old to be the 3-year-old sister who gets to go to the Jedi Temple for the most part, unless they just go with, you know what, you can't tell how old she is. We put the Jedi robes on her, and she's beautiful. End of story. That could simply be it too. But if we were to take her age into account, it would be very unlikely. But it would also, according to the Ahsoka's leaks, Naruto Ahsoka's leaks, it would also be unlikely that it was the Jedi Padawan who becomes a Jedi who comes to visit that they talked about, who lets her down and then she kills. That doesn't necessarily make sense either, considering what the age should probably be once again. But, you know, and like James says, too old to date DiCaprio, but not too old to marry Dawson's Creek. So good for her. Good for him. Making it happen. Kurt Russell style. What UFOs are these people
Vanderbeek's
seeing?
still around? Buddy.
No, not Vanderbeek. The other one. Jonathan Jackson, JTT.
I don't even know
Taylor?
who that is.
The other one. The one that wasn't Vanderbeek. Like
I just know
like,
the Vanderbeek and the Katie Holmes. I never watched the show.
You
so.
definitely know the other guy because he had a career after. So much
Okay.
so that he was able to get Jodie Turner.
I stopped follow, like the only TV I follow after 1996 is Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That's the live action TV I'm following. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get back into it until like Lost ish. You know?
Yeah. I watched Lost and that was about it. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, I knew Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Yeah.
We're just like marrying her off to anybody we could think of.
Did you ever see the
her
was it
last
Mad
name
TV?
is Smith. I said Jackson earlier because of the guy, but yeah. What?
Was it Mad TV or In Living Color? I think it was In Living Color when they did Home Alone with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson's trying to get into the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like he goes to open the door and it's hot. And he goes, yeah, I think it was Tommy Davidson who did it too. Like,
Yeah.
so and they got Jonathan Taylor Thomas right at the age too. You know what I mean? Like he was. Like it's great. It's hilarious.
Okay. So she's married to Joshua Jackson. Does that ring a bell?
I know Joshua Tree because I hear about it every fucking year.
He grew like a fucking like a big old beard, and he looks like Kurt Russell now. Like he looks like Gladiator a little bit. It's kind of got like a Gladiator. I'm gonna put it up on the screen right now. But he's like older now, so he looks a little bit different. Hold on. Oh wait, no, this isn't the right one. That's the wrong. Oh wait, well you could see him there. Look right there. See in the corner. Does that ring a bell?
No.
No. Come on.
No.
You definitely know who this fucker is, though. You definitely do.
I don't know him.
Wait. Okay. What's his stupid name? Jonathan Jackson. Okay. Jonathan Jackson. What was that show that he was on? That you saw with Vanderbeek?
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
I've never watched the show, and I'm not doing it to act like I'm cool. I just never watched it.
You have a Dawson's Creek tattoo. Back tattoo.
I know Vanderbeek from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay. Here's what his stupid ass looked like.
I don't know this guy. Looks like Simon Cowell.
It's weird. You know the other one. It's weird that you know the other one
because he was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, okay.
Vanderbeek when they go on the movie lot and bust in their own movie like Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Him and the pie fucker dude are playing Jay and Silent Bob. They
I believe he tried out for Anakin. That he was one of the people that leaked to be Anakin, or that was in the contention for it. But I don't know if that was fake just because of Dawson's Creek. But it does make sense he would have got the casting call because of Dawson's Creek at the time, or around that time that he was doing that he was acting.
That show came out in what, 97, 98 ish, 99.
I don't know. I never actually saw it.
That's when I was overseas, so I was like watching Buffy and wrestling. Like
Weezer gave me a Katie Holmes poster one time.
The closest thing to Dawson's Creek I watched was probably Roswell. Remember that one?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Was it good?
And no.
I
tried it, but I'm like, this is not.
Yeah. I watched Thunder in Paradise where Hulk Hogan had a boat and solved mysteries. That was cool.
Because it was on everything on USA Network was so bad. You know,
Yeah.
You're just waiting for either wrestling or MacGyver reruns.
Or it was cool when like people actually read Anne Rice books instead of bastardizing them on AMC. And they made a bunch of spin-off shows because of the Anne Rice fame. And it was like it was not Thunder in Paradise. It was what was it called? Baywatch Nights. It was like trying to capitalize on like the vampire like stuff.
Right.
And it was like David Hasselhoff solving ghost crimes and shit and fighting vampires at night. That was fucking cool shit. They should just keep making that stuff. I keep watching it to keep making it.
Like I get no time to watch stuff, but that comes out, you're like, I'll watch it.
Yeah, because that stuff it would just like show up on like Saturday on like channel 11 in channel 13. So like on the weekends, like on normal TV when there was nothing on. If you didn't have cable at the time, that was where you would see like 4 episodes of Thunder in Paradise back to back to back to back. Yeah. And that's when I was like actually practicing guitar and stuff. So I just like practice guitar and fucking watch Hulk Hogan fucking do sweet jumps out of boats and stuff. It's fucking good time. You know, I can't lie, Rob. There's sometimes I've wasted my life. That was not one of them. That was not one of them. That was like,
bro,
when like
you ain't lived. You ain't lived until you stayed up to watch Bret Hart in Lonesome Dove. All right.
Oh,
Like,
my grandma watched that when I was a kid, and I was like, they should just bring back silver spoons. That was my take. I didn't really pay attention to it. I was like, remember that train he had in Silver Spoons? And
Yes.
then now I think he's trying to stop the steal or something. Weird. Got on the wrong train. Thunder in Paradise. It was my shit, says King Chris. But yeah, I have a couple of friends now who've watched the Interview with the Vampire series, and it sounds like it's really cool up until Claudia's supposed to come, and then she's like fucking like 22, and she's like, I'm 5, and you're like, no, you're like 22. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in. Remember Suburban Commando? You know, I do remember it, but I didn't see it. But that, you know, that one Hulk Hogan movie, I don't know why I got Hulk Hogan on the brain, but I guess Suburban Commando was brought up, but he did this movie called No Holds Barred, and the wrestler who at the time was Zeus, who went on to have like a Hollywood career, he used to get his car washed at my dad's car wash. So I used to go with my dad to get his car washed. So I could like look at Zeus, and Zeus would just be like, and then he would smile at you. You go, and then he would smile. He was a nice guy, you know. I didn't, but
Jim
I
Cornette
never...
has great stories about that time. Like
Mhm.
where Hogan would lock himself in a hotel room and write the script with Vince, and that they were going to be big. went horribly wrong.
I saw it in the theater. I saw it at the Alondra 6 in the theater. Good times. Yeah. At that time, I was still mad that Cobra wasn't a G.I. Joe movie, though. For some reason, when I first saw the trailer for Cobra, I thought it was going to be a G.I. Joe movie. And I was like,
you know how
that's
dumb
cool.
my dad and I loved that movie together? That was like one of the few ways we bonded was over Cobra for some stupid reason.
Yeah, Cobra's
Was
badass.
that you remember in like the late
Yeah,
80s?
you put
there was
ketchup
this whole,
on the fries. You're drowning your fries. They wrote that. That was a scene that they wrote.
You remember the in the late 80s there was this whole like kid need like a safe word so you know if someone's safe to go with.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember this? This was a big deal in the 80s. I went with the safe word. So mine with my dad was Cobretti, right? Marion Cobretti. No one's gonna figure that one out.
For my kids is I'm a friend of your father's. He said come and pick you up. That's a good one, right?
My dad was You know, what he didn't appreciate was every time we got Pizza Hut, I'd have to cut it with scissors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's how Cobra eats his pizza.
That is how he is. You're drowning your fries in the ketchup.
The guy who plays the villain in that ended up
that
being
is in
Buffy
Cobra, right?
season 1.
That's in Cobra where he says that, right? Not
Right.
where he talks about you're drowning the fries, or was that in Over the Top? Fuck.
I'm less familiar with Over the Top, bro.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it must be an Over the Top.
Yeah.
They had Over the Top toys. They like the toys could like arm wrestle. They tried. Gotta give them credit for trying. They tried.
Man, that merchandising like droll between Star Wars and like Batman, you
Mhm.
know, they just had to like really fuck with the industry because they killed He-Man. Transformers, you know, they killed that with that animated film, you know.
Yeah.
And it was just like, well, what are we gonna do? Like Nintendo's taking over everything. I always wonder, like, had Lucas kept making, like, if he had waited 4 years and made a Star Wars film around 87, 86, if Nintendo would have gotten as big with the kids, you know what I mean? Like, because that Nintendo love around that mid 80s, before Mario 3, right? But that was like, there just wasn't, toys sucked. I mean, they really weren't good. You know, I mean, Cat and Power looked cool, but they weren't cool toys. You know, no one was like, "Oh, I got the cool toys." Like, I don't know.
I felt like every toy line was swinging for the fences to be a phenomenon, and it just made them wacky for the most part. Like that just kind of, but nothing
Mad
was
Balls,
connecting.
My Pet Monster, like fucking Run too. You know.
Yeah, I had these like toys. They were like demons. They were like dolls that were like about this big, maybe. And like one was like a devil, one was like a green plant in humanoids. You ever have an Inhumanoid?
Yeah, it was with the plant. That's 86.
Yeah, it was a little bit lit.
Transformers was still all right by then. See, what kills it is those movies. That Transformers movie. That really fucking that He-Man movie didn't help either. You know, that Transformers He-Man 1-2 punch just fucked everything up.
Yeah, and when the Transformers turned to plastic is when I stopped. That's when I was out. I was like, these feel cheap now.
Even now, like, you know, like I got my wife got me that. She never buys me nothing because she knows better. But this one time, she got me that DeLorean Transformer, but I refuse to take it out the box because I know it's made of plastic. I'm like, I'll just leave it in the box, you know, because I'm gonna feel a plastic fucking DeLorean and get mad.
And you know what sucks is DeLoreans are actually made out of stainless steel, so that would be badass if they hadn't made it out of stainless steel because it would have that like authentic kind of vibe, you know, feel. But G.I. Joe were always quality in my opinion. Yeah, G.I. Joe was pretty healthy for most of the 80s. For some reason, though, never was a fan of the G.I. Joe kids. The G.I. Joe kids were always the kind of kids that would hit you in the arm. You know, that was my experience.
It's true.
Yeah.
I had this kid. I told you he was my cousin. He really wasn't my cousin, but I called him Cousin Ricky. You know, and he shows up and he was like that Montana Max kid who would hit you in the arm. You know? Like, and he had all the G.I. Joes. I was like,
sure. Robert St. Clair brings up a good point, and he's not wrong. But what's weird is it feels like there's a big gulf between these times. There's really not in real time, but in my kid time, big gulf in this. Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles had a hot run in the late 80s in the toy aisle. My cousins and I had some legit toys from those franchises. But yeah, it's like we had it, but I don't know if they were. I don't know if Turtles was huge, but Ghostbusters, I had them all, but I don't know if they were super popular.
It wasn't the same. Look, man, I was there. It wasn't the same as the masked Transformers G.I. Joe He-Man run.
Yeah,
you know, like
that was crazy.
It just wasn't, and it didn't get crazy again until Batman Turtles. Like everything there. I'm not saying there was bad toys. I'm not saying that. You know, like I like the Ghostbusters stuff. You know, but You got to remember, this is the time when like McDonald's brings out the transforming fries in their Happy Meal at this time because there's nothing.
Yeah.
There weren't even like He-Man toys to go with the He-Man movie. That's how like it wasn't good, man.
Rick says in Humanoids had the Cthulhu figure. Yeah, I went to KB Toys and they had all 3 of them, and they were like clearance, like just take them out of here because they were big. And I had a bunch of birthday money. I got those, and I got pretty much the whole line of Starcom. Starcom was probably one of the best toy lines of the 80s, and boy, is it just not known. It had like little tiny spaceships, and they would fold up, but they had like a wind up mechanism, so it would like unfold. It'd be like, and then you could like store them inside of the other ships, and they had metal plates on the toys with magnets on the feet of the figures, so that way you could do like zero gravity walks and stuff. It was fucking cool as shit. But nobody wanted those toy lines, so like that birthday, I got like all the clearance stuff, but it was badass. I had a good time with it all. But
yeah, at this point, what I'm talking about is like we're in the like Cops, that cartoon Cops. Remember?
Yeah, Mask and Cops. Like says Will Morgan.
No, Mask is way before. Cops is way late. Cops is after RoboCop. It wasn't good.
Yeah, the Cops toy line was like around the time of like the Terminator 2 figures and stuff, wasn't it? Like
no. Terminator 2 is 91, man. This is 88, 87.
Okay.
I'm very knowledgeable of this era. I'm not proud of it. It gets me nothing other than anytime we see anything remotely time travel, I tell my wife I would waste it on just going to an 80s mall. Like I know that's when I would want to go.
Yeah. And then you take stuff back to the future with you that would disrupt the whole flow of time and destroy the universe, most likely.
Or whatever, or I would just have the memories, get an orange Julius.
Rob goes and buys an orange Julius, takes the cut back. Turns out somebody tripped on that, went to China, ate a fucking pangolin, and then we don't have COVID, and we could all thank Rob for saving the world.
The malls had square pan pizza. That was my jam.
Square pan pizza, huh?
Square pan, yeah. Now we call it Detroit style, but I mean I did like it. But it was square pan pizza.
That was our school pizza. Random, but hear me out. Sharknado, but it's Star Wars. I'd watch weird shark creatures coming out of the ocean. The Old Republic says we really need a Jar Jar movie. We need to know what happened to him if he made it through Order 66. Point of view Jar Jar Order 66 movie. Yeah, they need to do something with old man Binks. I mean, we've said it before. They could definitely take Jar Jar into a more serious place. And before people go, do you want Jar Jar to be serious? Not necessarily, but I mean, somebody who was a clown, who's
the
very
only
much
place to take Jar Jar is when we had Ahmed Best on here. He was just telling us all about how he saw
the wushu stuff.
He saw Jar Jar Binks as being like Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Not Buster Keaton. And I'm like a cop story or police story, you know what I mean? Like
right,
Drunken Master.
Hear me out. He runs, crashes his stupid bongo ship on Jeddah, hangs out with Baze and Chirrut, and learns how to do Star Wars martial arts from them.
I don't care how you figure it. You can just come to him and he knows it by now. He's been so long.
No, I need a montage. I need him like fucking out in the sun and shit, like doing, like those fucking weirdos in the opening of Kenobi that are like doing fucking that shit before they get killed.
Can we retire those stupid helmets? The worst helmets ever.
They wanted to put that on Ewan. Those helmets were supposed to also be the Jedi Starfighter helmets.
His agent got involved.
And no, they're like, he's like, I'm not wearing that. And they were like, no. He's like, no, I'm not wearing it. And then they took the headpiece out, the little comm unit, and like that's why they just kind of have like a little headphone thing. Yeah. Good for him.
Smart movie. Man.
You're gonna put me in a Bee Gees mullet and give me that fucking thing? No, I'm not doing it. Oh man. Transformers from 2000 2007 were the best toys I owned, followed by Lego Indie and Bionicles. As is true. The next generation has spoken.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you. You had it. You had much better video games than us. I'm not even gonna pretend like NES games were
That's
better
where you
than what's on the
went out.
360. Yeah, but your Transformers and Legos suck. I'm sorry. No Bionicle beats Benny the Spaceman. Sorry.
But hey, Azager had fun, and that's what matters.
It's just that weird. There's that weird design look of like that Bionicle Michael Bay thing where every robot's going to be an endoskeleton. You know what I mean? Like it's odd to me.
Yeah. I try to get my kid into the newer Transformers, and we bought one, and he liked it for a few minutes, and then just didn't connect with him. Just didn't. I think because like Transformers hit so hard with us because when we were really small, we had to play with trucks. That was like a fucking toy. Like, here's a truck, and you're like, oh, cool. It's just a truck. Like, okay, that's all there is. Then they're like, hey, what if that fucking truck turned into a fucking robot, bro? We're like, fuck yeah. And then we were totally in. We were hooked. Like, trucks sucked. This is cool. And then so like when I tried to get like my kid into it, he's like, I don't have to play with trucks. What the fuck is this? I don't care. But King Chris says, when Turtles were in their prime, I don't remember anything coming close to how massive their toy reach was. Yeah, that was at the time for sure. Like if that was like your coming of age, so to speak, like toy line, that was massive. I mean, I remember going to the SWAT meet and buying the bootleg toys because they were just as good. You really couldn't tell. You could barely tell the difference on the bootlegs. They had them so good for Turtles, and they were so cheap. So I bought all the bootleg turtle toys.
Yeah, but I am old enough to remember the Transformers, G.I. Joe, Cabbage Patch Kid, fucking He-Man 1, 2, 3 Punch. And I mean, at Toys R Us at that time, I mean, women were fucking fighting one another over these things. I watched it. I watched two women get into a fight over a Cabbage Patch Kid. I watched another woman take Transformers, like the Megatron one with the gun, and like hide them in between like coloring book like aisles, in the back and shit, like so I could come back and get them. Just ridiculous, Like I didn't see that again until Turtles, but Turtles kind of it had its, it had its good run, but it wasn't the same as like this and that and this and that and this,
Yeah.
Closest you get to it is that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers bit,
Yeah. I was 14 when that happened, and I was buying them and reselling them at the mall for like $100.
Smart.
My neighbor tried to shake me down, tried to blackmail me. He said he had shit on me, and he would tell my dad if I didn't give it to him for cost. So I told him to eat shit, and then I took some old underwear and I tacked it into his garage door with pickle relish on the side, and his name was Tony, and I wrote Tony's Chonies on it and left it there. I don't know why. Oh, I know why.
Tony's Chonies.
Tony's
like
Chonies. But yeah, pretty much. I pretty much haven't changed at all. But
using the same bits, huh, buddy?
When Turtles was like hitting like really hard though, I had a cousin who was like kind of like my brother because I was an only child until I was like 16, and I have a half brother and sister. And but so like my cousin Steven was like my brother growing up, but his mom remarried or got with some guy who was like super loaded. And so like they got and when I say this, like people are like, oh, he had every Star Wars toy. When I say this, I am not exaggerating. They had a $400,000 house when Turtles came out. They were fucking loaded. And they had like every Turtle toy and every Super Nintendo game when it came out. But I remember going to my cousin's house, and like he had like the fucking like blow up turtle blimp and shit like on the car. He had this like little thing that shot fucking pizzas, like little disc pizzas.
Yeah, the pizza shooter.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy. So I mean, it was definitely like that was huge. But
yeah, I mean, getting to the Star Wars toys, I mean, my big run on it, I mean, they existed as I was born into the world, but like the only movie I was mentally aware of was Jedi, right? Like that's, and I gotta be honest, man, like my uncle was way into like getting those, the kids on the schoolyard, like in 83, 84, that Jedi hits right as Transformers hit. So whatever push Jedi had just got overshadowed by. Did you have a You could have a whole pile of Star Wars, but if you had a Transformer, you were fucking cool.
Return of the Jedi had massive sales, though. It didn't.
I'm not saying they didn't. I'm talking about schoolyard cred. You know what I mean? I don't remember.
It was it was like by that point when didn't they hit around like late 84? 85.
It was. I just remember being around the same. Transformers is 84. The Jedi stuff, had to be at least that Christmas.
Yeah, it was like 83 to, and then in 85, Power of the Force came out, the first Power of the Force line. But my dad and my mom were separated and going to get divorced for the first time. Not for the first time, one of the times. And my dad's doing the whole like bribery thing. You want to live with me kind of thing. Yeah, and I'm like, Dad, can I get a Transformer? And he's like, of course. He's all, what is that? And I'm all, it's like a toy robot. Looks like a truck, and it turns into a robot. His name's Optimus Prime. That's the one I want. And then he's like, okay. And we like go to the store and we fucking find it. It's just there. And I picked it up, and then I remember him going, what the fuck? I was like all pissed off because it was expensive. I want to say it was like $40 back then. Like he thought he was gonna, take me to buy a Star Wars man, and it was a fucking it was Optimus Prime, fucking.
And that's why he gave you Donna.
No, that's He's how
like,
we got Donna.
You're getting it, but you're gonna pay.
I thought of a Donna story yesterday that I heard Donna tell. She was on the set of she claimed she was on the set of Die Hard, and that Bruce Willis asked her to go back to his trailer, but she said no because she was dating my dad.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. My dad wasn't publicly dating Donna. I don't think he was going to.
Dude, first off, you got to understand how ridiculous people saw Bruce Willis before Die Hard came out. You know, I like Moonlighting. I watched it. It made me laugh. People thought he was a goof. They didn't think he was good looking. They so much so he wasn't on the post. You know what I mean? Like they put the building on the poster and made him the color of the sky. So it was a goof.
And this is during like Arnold and Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
he's like a little guy, a little balding
guy. He's not seen as a good-looking dude. So, like, if she turned him, if that happened, she only turned him down because he was fucking ugly. She didn't want to admit it.
I don't think she would have turned him down.
I don't think it happened though, because like it's just ridiculous. It's just it's just none of that happens that way. I mean, I remember in the trailer for Die Hard hit, my uncle laughed in the theater. I got those nerd uncles. They're like, Bruce Willis. That movie comes out, no laughing. No laughing. No laughing.
Yeah, strangely, unlike the other action heroes of the day, where you still like a lot of it because it's cheese, his movie holds up. So Die Hard, holds up.
Yeah, it's one of those like everyone got fucking super lucky moments, and it all
even fucking
out.
Urkel's neighbor was in it, and he was serious and good. I think that's why he became Urkel's neighbor.
Yes, they just made him the same guy.
Pretty much.
We need a cop. You're him.
I saw you in that one thing. That's what you are now.
Yeah. Welcome to the 80s, bro.
Yeah. Typecasting.
This is why. Well, this is why Christopher Reeve said the biggest mistake of his fucking career was after Superman, he went to go see Michael Eisner, and Michael Eisner said, "We just got a movie right now. Actor dropped out. It was American Gigolo." And he was like, I can't learn my lines by Monday. I need time and prep. And so he turned it down, and it went to Richard Gere.
Mm.
And as Christopher Reeve did American Gigolo, I think he would have broke out of the Superman mold,
Yeah.
But he turned that down and he was stuck up until the horse fucking day, So,
Man.
sucks.
I'm, you know what though? I saw Quest for Peace in the theater, and I'm still mad at that guy about it. So fuck him.
Bro, I read the novelization, the movie novelization. I got the Scholastic Book Fair, right? That was the one thing I got, and I was pissed. I'm like, I could have got a Garfield book, and I got this. Book made me mad.
I was in Palm Springs, living with my mom at that time, and I walked down to 7-Eleven in the sweltering heat to get a Quest for Peace collector's cup because I believed in it, man. I believed in it.
I remember the collector's cup.
The
By the way, I wanted to warn all you folks. I you probably knew this, Jason. I didn't know this. Fucking all those mugs we got, and the Garfield mugs, the Return of the Jedi mugs, the Star Trek mugs, all those glass with the drawings on the outside, right? They all have 1,000 times the level of like lead. It's like it's considered safe and normal. So like this happened a couple years ago at least, but I just found out about it now because my mom had the little Garfield ones where he's on a skateboard and shit, the McDonald's ones. I drank out of that all the fucking time. Guarantee you, like probably gonna get cancer one day because of it. Fucking dicks.
So a good thing about being a Patreon supporter of Star Wars Make is you get access to her Discord. And in her Discord right now, Star Wars Make has posted costume designer for the show, Louise Minchenbach. And she confirms that Skeleton Crew is 8 episodes a season like Mando and Ahsoka. So Skeleton Crew should basically be in the format of Mando. Is kind of the takeaway. And I'm excited for Skeleton Crew after I saw Spider-Man. I'm more excited for it after seeing Spider-Man. That director is good.
You should also watch that Cop Car movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that sounded cool.
The kids. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's an indie film. It's not like a
sure.
It's cool.
But that's where you see if they're going to be able to
and that's what got him hired on Spider-Man.
You know?
That's what that's what Feige saw it and hired him. Like everyone's like Sony. No, they were in charge of all that. It's outlined in the story of Marvel. I like camping these cats, but I like the shows. But they always like, no, gotta remember that's Sony. It wasn't. It wasn't. They just sat back and took the money. That was the deal. Was we do nothing, but we get the money. And Marvel was like, okay, because they just don't want them fucking up their shit anymore. That's it. That's how it went down.
Superfry says, I used to love the Trend Masters Godzilla King of the Monsters toy line when I was younger. I don't know how popular it was. Also, the early 2000s Jurassic Park 3 stuff. I remember like towards like the late 80s, I had like a big Godzilla, like the size of Voltron probably. That was like green. Those like really popular. I don't know if they were killing it money wise, but those were everywhere. Also, my favorite toy of like that time was my Pee Wee Herman that you pulled the string and he talked.
Yeah.
And I had Cherry and Cherry would sit in Cherry. I love that. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had that today. Probably worth a ton of money.
Not used.
Oh
Just
no.
in the box.
Yeah. In a perfect world, I get a new Bionicle film made by Bay and a 6 Transformers film by him. What is it with you and Arya with this Michael Bay? I say enough of the Michael Bay. I think he's good. I think he just needs to go take dick pics by the pool for the rest of his life, as far as I'm concerned. But hey, I hope you get what you want, because I honestly wouldn't see that one. So I hope you do get it, because I think then we all win. Will Morgan says,
I just don't get, Jason, hold on. I just don't get how Paramount just didn't fucking get him to do the G.I. Joe movie and take those fucking army dudes in the first Transformers film, that Josh Duhamel, and make all those guys G.I. Joe, and then throw in like one big dude with him, like The Rock or somebody. And let Michael Bay make a fucking G.I. Joe movie, and then make a Transformers movie, and then make a G.I. You know what I mean? And then they all get back together. Like, why didn't they just have him do everything? Like, because I think if you had given him like
there was a rumor on the set that Megan Fox was bleaching her asshole.
Yeah, huh?
They couldn't think.
I have no sympathy for actors or actresses when they're like, oh, they were. I don't care.
Remember when
I have the
Sam?
sympathy for people who were raped, that I get. But
Sure.
when you're like, they objectified me on the screen, I don't care. That's the job. You know what I mean? Like if Helen Mirren's fucking 60, she's running around in fucking leather, we're objectifying her. You know?
All right.
That's part of the deal. You know, that's how it goes.
Remember when Sam from Transformers killed all those dogs? All right. Will Morgan's Transformers were serious toys like $20. Notorious
You know
B.I.G.
how much of
should
a
have-
hold on? Do you know how much of a nerd I am? I was thinking of Sam Witwicky from the animated movie. I'm like, when he transforms into a robot, right? Do you remember in that one, the anime? I was like, when did he kill dogs? I don't remember. Oh, the live action.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Yeah. I mean, it is true though. I do think, like, looking back at the economics of that era of toys though, video games, like, I had to have it. Like, I had to have those video games, even just from the dopamine hit off of Mario and Zelda. Like, I was hooked for probably that whole era of my life, even when I was buying shit games. And like, those were like $30 when they first hit, and we're always around $30. And it's just like, that took away from the toy money considerably, you know, like
It
really
did. Nintendo, yeah, just they ate into the. Tom Kalinske was the guy in charge of Hasbro. The guy put together fucking He-Man and all that shit. He ended up running Sega of America, but he had to. It's outlined in the book Console Wars, and my buddies are friends with him. I thought I was gonna meet him in 2019 at E3, but he just didn't go, so that didn't happen. But
Why is he so stuck up?
That fucking video game shit just tore right through the toy industry, you know. And part of it too is because, let's be honest, there weren't kick-ass kid films out in the theater. Everything was like, it was super lovey, like super family, like 3 Men and a Baby.
My Pet
shit,
Monster,
you know.
the movie.
The coolest shit was RoboCop, and it was rated R, so you couldn't go see it. You know,
I was never turned away from a movie in my life until South Park, because I forgot my ID.
The biggest kid flick at that time, dude, that like the kids were all talking about was Spaceballs. And it was like, let's make fun of Star Wars. And I didn't like Spaceballs because I'm like, it's making fun of Star Wars, and I don't want to make fun of Star Wars. It took me a long time to come into appreciating that film, because I was like, they're making fun of Star Wars. I can't. I don't want to.
Star Wars is my friend.
Yeah, it's my friend. I defend my friends.
I believe I rented Spaceballs and Do the Right Thing at the same time. I think that was my double rental. Or maybe the first time I saw Spaceballs. I think so.
Okay. All
right. I didn't see it in the theater. I rented it. As it true says, any idea what the format for Disney Plus Day will be like last year? Just tweets during the day. That's what it sounds like. I mean, it sounds like they're gonna just like drop. I mean, are they gonna drop the movies, like the fucking Pinocchio shit, like at midnight the night before, you know, or whatever, going into that day? I have no idea.
I'm trying not to think about it. Like, why do you guys keep talking about it? If you guys keep saying they're gonna make it, if we don't talk about it, they won't do it. If we all just boycott Disney Plus Day, you know, can we please, for the love of God, boycott Kanye West Day, Disney Plus Day, you know? Like,
Will Morgan says, Willis's daughter looks just like him. I hate to be all Little Mermaid, but when I see her, all I think is poor unfortunate soul. Damn, Will. But I will say it does look a little bit like somebody, like God went into an AI machine and write Bruce Willis as a daughter, and that's what came out.
I'm not talking about people's looks because
you're not beautiful like me. Will Morgan says, can you imagine the camera work on a Michael Bay dick pic?
Drones. These days it would be drones.
Like,
he's really into drones. Bro, that ambulance movie, like the drone footage, I said this about Aquaman, and it holds true with that ambulance fucking film. all these drone moves, man, they just look like the demo mode of Soul Calibur when you leave Soul Calibur on and it just goes
Yeah.
around the dude who's doing shit and in the arena. Like it's like they left the fucking movie on demo mode and it won't
Yeah.
fucking stop. Won't
Oh,
stop moving.
A buddy of mine. So King Chris says, I had a massive stuffed Godzilla that I use as my wrestling buddy. That's how I learned how to correctly apply the sharpshooter. They made a line of wrestling buddies, and a friend of mine knew he was gay when he liked humping his Ultimate Warrior pillow buddy.
Well,
I was like,
good
yeah,
for him.
good. You know, hey, that's an easy role play makeup job to apply. I'd say probably. I mean,
I just feel bad for his buddy who came over and was like, "Oh, cool,
like,
want
laid
to
on
play
it.
with it." Didn't know his buddy was dry humping it all night.
Oh yeah, he was fucking going to town on it.
That's
By the
why I
sounds of
laughed.
things.
I'm like, "Oh, that poor kid. You
Oh,
had
yeah.
no idea." You know. I don't know if anyone was dry humping fucking the Ghostbusters figures. You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I
think
did
I'm
kiss
safe.
my Princess Leia Tubbs card to burn the bikini though. But anyways,
jeez.
got caught. Yeah.
You
Tyrant
got
says,
caught?
yeah, I told you about this before. I went to the ice cream truck. I bought a pack of Return of the Jedi cards. Got first there was like a Leia indoor card in there, and I was like, man, she's pretty. And I go into the other one, and then it was her in the like I think like in the and I think it was her in the bikini from Jabba's palace
All
stuff,
right.
and I was like,
Okay.
oh man, I feel a tingle. I'm like, yeah. And then I like kissed the card, and as I kissed the card, my dad was right there at the door looking at me, and he was just like shaking his head. I was like, I wanted to die. Yeah.
Why would he shake his head? Like, you
he's an
know, hey,
asshole.
you'll get there,
He's an asshole.
kid. It's
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
But yeah, Hollywood loves Bay, and I don't understand why. I just don't really think he does. I think it's just completely lacks substance, like across the board. I don't know.
Because you people keep going to see his shit. If we all stopped with the island, you know, but
Yeah.
look, you make money in this, you make people money, they hire you. That's how it works. Unless you're a real asshole. And apparently he's not an asshole. Like, you know, like that whole, he went through that asshole phase, like during the Rock and shit, where he was trying to be like the stories about James Cameron. Because if you got that art, that Rock Criterion disc, which I do have, Ed Harris is like on there and he's like talking about, you know, I would tell Michael, you know, you don't have to be James Cameron. I work with Jim, you know, you don't have to. He's basically talking about you don't have to nearly kill your actors on set and yell at everyone to, you know, make a movie that made nothing and people will appreciate a lot 20 years later. But, you know, so I imagine he's chilled out too.
Yeah. Probably was doing cocaine back then too. Tyrant says Hollywood loves Bay. Shitty action shots with short, fast cuts are a lot cheaper than long panning one shots. Man, Highlander was badass. Got that shit for free the other day. Still happy about that. King Chris says you haven't played shit games until you played Bad Dudes for NES. Oh, I played Bad Dudes for NES and liked it.
I love Bad Dudes. Yeah, I like Bad
Yeah.
Dudes. The RoboCop game wasn't that fun, but it wasn't that bad. Do you know the one that was fucking not fun, but everyone seemed to love was fucking Narc? Like it wasn't fun, man. Like
Pixies do a cover of the theme song from Narc, and it's badass. They like went to the arcade and they just used to play because it was fun in the arcade.
Okay,
but
I'm talking about the NES version. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was not good.
I
like Bad Dudes.
I'm a big fan of Renegade. Remember Renegade?
Yeah.
I like both the
Yeah.
Nintendo version and the arcade version. They're both really different. But
my underrated game at that time was Rygar.
Oh yeah, Rygar was great.
The NES Strider I really liked. No one liked that game.
Yeah, Strider was difficult to get started with, but yeah, I beat Rygar. Was really into it. Rygar is the game. They had it at the arcade, with Street Fighter 2, not at the arcade, at the liquor store, H&H Liquor in Paramount. And I used to go to it, and this kid was really good at Street Fighter, and he beat me in Street Fighter. Then he went over and he started playing Rygar. And I told him, if you jump in the hole, you get an extra man. And the fucking idiot did it. And then I laughed at him like Nelson from The Simpsons and went home.
Classic move. I told my
Jump-
little brother that once on Mario Brothers, and he died, and then I was banned from using the Nintendo for like a month.
My big pet peeve was those fucking slow kids that would play and they would do this with the controller in Mario. They would move the controller up constantly. Do you remember that? Oh man, I wanted to.
Yeah, they all bought a Wii fucking 20 years later. And
Yeah, I know.
Did the fucking thing they wanted it to do. Yeah.
But
and we
wasn't
hate
doing it.
motion controls now, unless it's in VR.
You know, I just had a weird brain fart. Remember that movie Father of the Bride, the original one with Steve Martin?
Steve Martin. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking Parenthood. Parenthood.
Parenthood.
In the-
Also
yeah.
with Steve Martin.
Steve Martin and
Mary
Steenburgen, I think. Yeah,
and
there's
Joaquin
a
Phoenix.
moment where the kid
Right.
plays bad dudes at the arcade, and I think he loses and he's sad, and I'm like, you fucking loser. Well, that wasn't hard. Like it was like the kid dies at a dump point. I'm just like, fuck you, fuck this kid and all his problems. But I'm still mad about it.
Jason's uncompromised. Guys, we'll talk about Star Wars like in like 3 weeks when there's nothing to fucking not talk about. I mean, there's everything to talk about, but like right now, it's like
Everything still goes back to Star
you covered
Wars.
the story, but it's like whatever, like hey, they cast another person for a show we're not going to watch for 2 more years, so it's like don't know what I'm supposed to think about that, but all right, cool.
Tyrant says Kanye West naming a shitty album TurboGrafx 16 is the most appropriate thing ever. He is truly the bonk to Tupac's Mario. Yeah, my best friend in middle school, I had the Sega Genesis, and he was just like, "I'm gonna go TurboGrafx. Like I'm just gonna be the contrarian." And I remember he got that shit on his birthday. I think his birthday was December 13th. I don't know why I remember that, but it was. And I remember he got it, and Bonks was like, all right, but I had a pinball game called Alien Crush, and I liked Alien Crush a lot, but everything else was pretty much like whatever.
Well, here's why: because the key feature of the TurboGrafx 16 never came to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Never came to the States, and that
was
was
that?
that it had this card that you could go and like basically rent games with the card, bring them home, play them on the card. Right? Or take it to the arcade, continue your fucking game there. You know what I mean? Like there was this whole thing where so people would trade games on these cards and then put them in there, and they were like, nope, not doing that. And so like that collectible trade, they somehow worked collectible trading into like renting games and shit, with that thing, and that never came here.
Yeah.
So
I do remember the games were on like cards, were on like little. I wouldn't call them cardboard. They were like, but some kind of like
you'd be able to take them like a red box, put them in there, and get the game, and but they were like, no, we're not doing any of that. So, yeah,
weird. Was that supposed to be a thing here? Like, was it ever sold as happening or no?
No, they never. They just omitted that and made it a direct competitor.
Yeah,
there's just no infrastructure for that here. But at the time, this is like right before Street Fighter 2, so arcades weren't it. Where were you supposed to get those things? I mean, where were you supposed to put them up at what used to be the World of Power at the bottom part of Sears at Montgomery Ward or some shit like that? Like, like Toys R Us was the place to get a game, but you didn't get the games. You got the paper and had to go get the fucking thing at the cashier. KB had some stuff, but that was like, you're always like, I remember going to a KB and that poor person working there, whoever it was, I was always frazzled and running around, and the games would be right behind him, and you're like, I just want the one, but they'd have to keep running around to help someone else, just felt bad for those KB
like
people.
mom and pop shops were starting to rent Nintendo games at that time and stuff. So like it totally could have worked. And maybe it didn't have like good security or something. Like maybe it was like easy to mod or hack or something. I wonder like if that was a fear. You know what I mean? If you just take the card home and then you own the game or whatever. But I don't know.
I'm sure there's fear, but like,
yeah,
whatever. Look, the biggest loss we've had in the gaming industry was when Blockbuster and them fall out, and now you can't rent a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like there's so many games I used to just rent. And they go, well, now every game's $60.
Yeah.
Like I never would have been able to find a Breath of Fire You know what I mean? Like at a store, it wasn't available. Like I was only like lucked into renting that fucking thing. I was like, this is great. I love this. You know, like this is fun. And so some games are just fucking rentals. And Midway, I think, made all of its money on those types of fucking games. You know, you'd go, you rent, you play NFL Blitz, fine. Maybe you buy it later, but you don't have to. And that all goes away now, and there's just no like real alternative for it. You know.
Yeah, man. I remember when Legend of Zelda came out. My grandmother's birthday was August 22nd, and mine's August 23rd. And we would sometimes celebrate our birthdays together, or like in the same like outing or whatever. But this year we decided not to. And Legend of Zelda was coming out, and that's all I wanted for my birthday. My parents forgot to get my grandmother a present, so they had to go get her a present, which rightfully so, they should have. But they were maxed out on time because we needed to get to the Black Angus. And I fucking didn't get Legend of Zelda that day. Then on my birthday, I'm like, where's my Legend of Zelda? It wasn't there. Went down to the store. Didn't get that shit. Man, it took like a month to finally get Legend of Zelda. I was dying. I knew there were kids out there playing Legend of Zelda.
You're going to hate me, but I'm the kid who could have gave two shits less about that Zelda shit until Link to the Past. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't get what the point was. I didn't get walking around. I wasn't interested in the dungeon. I didn't even think those looked like trees. I thought they looked like weird fucking bushes, and this is fucking stupid. I didn't like it. You know, I preferred Metroid or fucking eventually Mario 2. I actually like Mario 2 more than Mario 1. I was one of those kids. I was like, it just looks better, and you got different characters and shit. And like, it's no fun. It's stupid. Okay, then I like stupid shit. That's how I roll.
Well, like I see this with my son. Things that like you don't think when you stop thinking like a kid, but when I see it in him, like when Zelda 2 came out, it's not a better game. It's a worse game. But you were walking
soundtrack.
It was but you were walking sideways. It did different things. So like those features were interesting to me at the time because the last Zelda didn't do that. So I was like, ooh, like what is this? You know what I mean? And it wasn't really until like I think on GameCube was it GameCube? If you got a Nintendo Power subscription, you got a disc for GameCube, and it came with all of the Zelda games. Yeah, at the time, and I played through Zelda 2 again, and I was like, this game is terrible.
So this is when I start to develop my asshole Rob mode, right? Mm-hmm. Zelda 2 comes out. People don't like it, and I'm like, that's right, because it's not that great. Like it's the first time I remember it wasn't as good as you thought it was. You know, Mario 2 is even better than the first. This is bullshit, because it was always bullshit. Goonies 2, I thought, was a better game than The Legend of Zelda. You had a giant exploration map. It had a fucking theme song that made me want to kill myself. You know, it had varied gameplay. Had a yo-yo.
The theme song is Zelda's badass. I used to play it. I don't anymore.
I couldn't take it until the Super Nintendo, man. Sorry.
What was that?
I couldn't take it until the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo, the sound design, it was great. It was fantastic. That Link to the Past blew my mind. I was like, this is brilliant. But shitty ending. But
I skipped
all
that
one for a rotating Triforce. I was like, this it? This all you get? It's fucking bullshit. You know, I knew there was something about this series. It just,
Yeah.
Because I'm the guy who loves fucking Wind Waker in 2001. Bro, I know I'm cutting you off, but you remember
no, it's good.
When the trailer for Wind Waker came out and everyone was expecting like that demo, this realistic Ocarina of Time? When and I'm watching this on the IGN Prime, right? That was that summer they went Prime, and you could stream it because it crashed their site. They wanted to charge everyone for it. So I get it. That fucking Wind Waker comes out. My friends were like, "This is bullshit. What is this?" And I was like, "Yeah," like the Thor, right? I was like, "Yes, he's the guy. Yeah, it looks like Monkey Island. It's Monkey Island Legend. Now I can get into this, you know." I
love how it
looked.
looked.
Past in the Game Boy game.
Yeah. Link to the Past I didn't play right away. I kind of skipped it because I told you my dad's other bitch girlfriend got me a Super Nintendo for my birthday. It came out on my birthday actually, and then returned it because I didn't want to go to her house. I wanted to stay at my house. And so I was like, fuck Super Nintendo. I'm out. I'm not going to do that shit anymore. But then I went to my cousin's house, and my cousin got all of the Super Nintendo's games that Christmas. Like every game that was out, even that fucking Ultraman game. He even had that shit. And I remember playing the Zelda game there, and I was like, man, I got to play that. But I kind of went right to the Nintendo 64 version, then went to Link to the Past, which is great, though. Link to the Past is really good.
Yeah,
But,
and the one on the Game Boy was my favorite though. Like probably, But,
that's the one. Then they just remaster that one.
Awakening, Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's dope,
good?
but I just wish. I get what they're going for with the dioramas and stuff. I'm all about it, but I wish they would make a fucking Zelda game that looked like the artwork that was in the manuals for the first two games. And Link to the Past, like that cell shaded. Like what the cartoon was going for, but didn't. But like the artwork in those manuals, I wish they would.
Oh
make
yeah.
a game. I know they were brutally well. I get it. It's fun, but I mean something that actually was like flat shaded with the character, not all fucking glossy and shit. Like just that would look like that.
Yeah, I still want them to do the like a Mario game out of clay, like the Nintendo Power cover for Mario 2, where it's like blue and it's like all like made out of Play-Doh. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tyrant said, Rob, the stories of both Tom Kalinske and Peter Moore coming from Sega of America and talking to Sega Japan and how insane the main Japan branch was, how Tom would blow up or be fired and then be rehired.
Yes.
By the time his plane was landing back in the States, to support the board of Japan. And then the Super Famicom had the same thing in Japan, Rob. Blank cartridges you could load games on. Not sure if the Famicom had that or not. Also, NEC TurboGrafx was the first CD-based system I remember. The NEC TurboGrafx was the first. The TurboGrafx, I remember having a little card, but did it have a CD add-on or something?
There was a secondary version that had a CD add-on, yeah.
Oh, okay. So honestly forgot Disney Plus Day was tomorrow until I saw a tweet. So close to D23.
Oh, is it? Fuck! Stop saying it. Look, if we could just, Jason, please, God, make it. I don't know. Look, I'm not belittling the deaths, but if I personally had to have my experience going through the pandemic and sitting through another Disney Plus Day, I gotta tell you, you know, like that.
Have you ever wanted to see Tom Hanks be Geppetto?
God, make it stop. Hasn't even started, and I'm begging him, make it stop. You know, so
yeah,
it's the worst, dude.
What they should bring back is Forgotten Worlds. That game was badass. What happened to it? King Chris says, first game I ever got hooked on at the arcade when I was a kid was Golden Axe. I spent so much money on that damn game. Yeah, Golden Axe was fun. I actually replayed the Golden Axe with my kids, which was a pretty good time. I got to be the dwarf.
I'm gonna say something unpopular. Overrated. Even at the time. I don't mean in hindsight. At the time,
I don't know. It's pretty fun. You don't like Altered Beast either. Altered Beast is pretty fun.
No, I don't like Altered Beast.
It talked.
I don't care. I know. Sinistar fucking talked. So what? You know.
I don't remember what that one was. I had the good games.
Right. I know.
Yeah, Super Metroid for NES was the best.
That's what you did there.
You know what? I never honestly was never able to get into Super Metroid. Just never connected with it. Even when they put it, I think they put it on the game service for the Switch Lite or whatever. I think so. Tried it again. I just didn't work for me.
See, that's Super Nintendo though time. There was so much. I just kept playing Shining Force 1 and 2 over and over again. And like, I was really into JRPGs. So like,
yeah,
Super Metroid was better than the original Metroid by far. But I was less interested in it than I would be Breath of Fire 2 or something, you know?
Yeah. But when Metroid though, like Metroid was like the only thing like it when it was out. So that's why it was just like,
Right.
phenomenal. I mean, but then I was also the kind of kid. There was another game I liked that gets shit talked today a lot. I can't remember what it's called. I'd have to look it up. I think Angry Video Game Nerd covered it like last year finally.
Fester's Quest.
And no, it was a weirder one. It was like a side scrolling jumping game. But as I was watching it, I just realized like people today, when I was watching people review those games, they're very hard on them. But we were better at side scrolling games because it was all we had, and we just played side scrolling games all day. So we were all pretty good at it. Whereas today you go to pick it up and you're like, this is too fucking hard. But when you paid $30 for it, you were going to get good at it. Like you were going to master the dynamic of that game and play it. And today
this is why renting games was nice, because you can, your parents, hey, it's next to the pizza, it's $4, $5 or whatever.
Paperboy.
You're not on the hook. You're not on the hook for fucking like, you want to beat as much of it as you can during the weekend.
Sure.
But you're not on the hook for making your fucking life,
yeah,
live and work and breathe. And just so that parent, man, fucking our parents, man, be like, they spend $20 on you to make you think that's the fucking biggest thing in the world, And then like people go, well, $20 was a lot then. Yeah, I get it, but not compared to like cigarettes and beer. My mom was still spending more on wine coolers and one video game, like without a doubt, like,
But I mean,
or roller skates weren't cheap, bowling balls weren't cheap, and my mom was spending all that money on that shit too. So
I bowled as a kid. I was good too. Me and my cousin, I talked about it all the shit. We were on a team together. We had this weird little girl with us who was like our third, and she was good, but she was fucking crazy. She does meth now. Anyways, yeah.
But meth does her.
But I will say, I do wonder if she ever looks in the mirror and just says, "I am error." Remember that shit from Zelda 2?
I am error. Yeah.
I am error. Link to the Past is the best game of all time. Tens of thousands of games later, I still play it one time a year, every year. Yeah, it's really, really good.
The sound design, I think, is what works for it. For me, like the top down, they perfected it in the way that they perfected Mario 3, kind of really solidified that look of Mario, right?
Yeah.
But the sound design on Link to the Past was the thing that just, it like in tandem with everything, with the echoes and the sound of the rain and all that shit, just it was super good. Like there was nothing quite like the sound design on that game, on that system.
My kid's like game that he's going to be talking about on a podcast years from now is Mario Maker 2. Like they just love it. They just can't get enough of it. They just play it all day. They just make I have to play a level in it like every couple of days. He makes me a level. It's like, Dad, you got to test my level. And I'm like, some of the levels that people make are like pretty amazing and really fun. I wish they would do a Zelda one, because like some creative person could just make a fantastic Zelda game. You know what I mean? Using
that was
all of
the
that
gripe.
stuff and...
That was the gripe about Link's Awakening's remake, is that it has this like dungeon mixing thing.
Okay.
But you can't actually make a dungeon. Like you have to buy like little pieces. You take pieces of pre-made dungeon and like, rearrange them, and it's stupid. Yeah, exactly. See that look on your face? Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Right. And it's like, Nintendo, delete it. Don't even put it. It's just worse than it not being in the game. You know what I mean? Like, just don't put that in there, because when you do
were
that,
fine.
Everyone.
Now you've offended me. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they should have. If not for with the assets for that game, then with the Link to the Past or NES assets, it should have been in there. You know what I mean? Like some version of it would have been the place to do it. But then,
yeah,
shit's hard to make, man.
Yeah. Link to the Past for SNES was the best game. I agree. It made up for the shit show Zelda 2. Yeah. Yeah,
Zelda 2 had a good soundtrack though.
It's like I still love Zelda 2. I do. I mean, it just makes me. It's just infuriating. That's just laughing. Will Morgan says Switch's Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is open world and dope. You know what? I love it, man. I mean, that was Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time are still like the two that, like, for whatever, they don't even necessarily hold up as well as they could, but the vibe of those ones when they hit, I haven't had anything as big for me as those two when they hit, since, I should say. But
You know how hard it was to get people on board with the Switch? Because I get every system Nintendo makes when it comes out, right? Like, because everyone always goes, I don't want it. It's not that great. Wait a minute, I don't want it. So, but that game comes out, and I'm like, this is what it was like. Remember that Nintendo Power, the first issue when they featured the second quest, and there's that big artwork of like Link looking over. It's a hand drawn piece. He's looking over the valley of Hyrule. I was like, I want a game like this. That's the first time, like, the idea, like, it's, you can't see the world. It's sucked down. I want to see the world like that. And even when Ocarina came out, they didn't feel like that to me. Like, none of them hit it. Breath of the Wild is the first time I'm like, that feels like that drawing finally came to life in a way. I still kind of wish they'd make one that looked like that shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's fantastic. I've played the shit out of it. I played that more than anything else on that system.
Same.
Even to this day. Like, yeah.
I got a copy for the kids. My daughter played it for quite some time, and I was like, yeah, she's gonna get it, but she's just not there yet. She's still like a little bit too small for it. And then for whatever reason, I can't get Luke to get hooked on it. He goes right back to the Mario Maker. Man, missing out.
I don't like open world games. Like, there's very few that have ever worked well for me. You know, like Grand Theft Auto, that series works, but they sort of really invented it. You know, like,
yeah,
no, really, yeah, they really did. Like that, so they know what they're doing. But like those Assassin's Creeds, I don't give a shit about them. The only thing that come close was that first Crackdown game on the 360. If you played co-op with a friend, was super. It was the closest I've ever played to like having action figures.
Yeah,
like a game. You know what I mean?
It wasn't good, but it was good at the same time.
Yeah, it wasn't with the fray. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But these open world games, generally speaking, are just like endless fucking quest shit that I don't fucking care. You know, like it. You know, the only game I've been wanting to be an open world game that isn't would be Mario, and like that Bowser's Fury. I don't know if you've played it.
Actually, pretty funny. I bought that for the kids, and then they kind of overlooked it, and I actually downloaded that for them again this week. But I found out this little trick where I buy it on my account, and then I'm signed into both Switches, and they can both play it at the same time together. If they're offline, it works. But yeah,
the Bowser's Fury is the best part of like that Odyssey show. I love that Bowser's Fury is great. Yeah. Like, I'm like, but you can't do that open world on this little system. Like, it can't. That system's chugging along with fucking Bowser's Fury as it is. You're like, man, you have a giant open world to break the shit out of this. I get Nintendo's point, but like, not having a system that can do things at this point is becoming really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I was pretty into Ultima Online for a while too. King Chris says Ghosts and Goblins. Man, I remember the first time I beat Ghosts and Goblins and found out I didn't beat it. I was so fucking pissed. And then I went through and I actually did the double playthrough on it and beat it. I was really good at video games because like all I did. Little fat little kid.
Also has one of the greatest names ever made. Just Ghosts and Goblins.
Good game. Yeah.
Fantastic name.
Hey, you know what? Like, even Ghosts and Ghouls. I'll still take it. Which was actually better. I loved it. Wanted to marry it. Tyrant says a side-scrolling jumping game from the 16-bit era gonna need more than that. Jason, system art style. Are you a Genesis kid? I immediately think of Chakra and Gunstar Heroes. Now this was a Nintendo game. Hold on. I will tell you tomorrow.
It's way before Chakra and Gunstar Heroes. You're thinking 93, 94. Jason's talking 88, 89.
Yeah, like, yeah, that and I was I had as a kid, I had, you know, Nintendo, and I didn't have a Sega Master System, but my friends did. And then I got the Genesis, and then my friend got a TurboGrafx and I played that, and then Super Nintendo, and I got kicked out of school, and I had a Super Nintendo, and the Sex Pistols, never mind the Bullocks. I finally got a copy of that, and I was in between being able to start school, and all I did was play Super Mario World and listen to the Sex Pistols, and then my girlfriend would come over after school and we would bang it out. And I gotta say, it's probably like by the happiest 3 months of my whole entire life. Easily. Hey, it's Johnny. How's it going, dude? Johnny wants Dark Rob. Rick Jones says Ghost
we have
and
to
Goblin.
sit to that Disney fucking Plus day. You're gonna see it.
Oh shit.
I guarantee that.
Yeah. I know. I'm not, man, like I have to go for D23 to go to like the main panel on Saturday. I have to get my badge, right? But you could only get your badge on site. But I really don't want to go fucking down to Anaheim, spend fucking $20 in gas, spend $30 to park to get the fucking badge to go back on Saturday and do that again. There's like a media line that you could hit, and I plan on hitting the media line just early, as opposed to staying like overnight. Hit the media line super early in the morning, and then that way I could like make sure I could probably get in that way. And but fuck, I wish I had a solution, but I can't think of one right now. Other than going down and wasting all that money. I could buy my kids a fucking video game instead. Jimmy McKee says Crash Bandicoot was the childhood version of hell for me. The old Bandicoot. Bandicoot was a little after my time in the gaming stuff, for the most part. I think I was like already like working and playing computer games by that point, maybe. Do you know what year Bandicoot
was? That one that I was like clown. So I was clowning it because I was like a Mario 64 dude. Mm-hmm. And I already pre-ordered my 64. I mean, I was a 64 guy the second that Shashankai in 95 was on the internet and shit. So, but my buddy who had like all the games, he bought everything, I was over at his place and he's like, oh, I think you'll like it. You got to try it. I'm like, I don't fucking want to play it. So I started playing it. And I'm like, oh, you know what this feels like? This isn't Mario 64. This is Donkey Kong Country, but you go into the screen. Mm-hmm. And like it's like a way better Donkey Kong Country. And so when I thought about it from that angle, I'm like, yeah, I fucking love this. Like, became a giant Crash Bandicoot fan. The one I didn't like was Tomb Raider, and it had nothing to do with her boobs or the. I love the idea of
That's
it.
what I liked about it.
The world moved. She didn't move, and it fucking made me nauseous. I can't move. I want to move her. It's like the world's moving around her. It feels fucking weird. I can't.
I'm gonna be honest. PlayStation never really sat right with me. I enjoyed it.
You weren't an RPG guy, though.
What's that?
You weren't an RPG guy, though.
No, I'm an RPG guy. I am.
So then how could you not be playing PlayStation if you're an RPG guy? Like,
no, I mean in general, just like the thing I liked most about it was the fact that I could put music CDs in and change the soundtrack to it. Like there's like some like not games I actually like really like deeply loved, but
Vandal
I got
Hearts, Final Fantasy Tactics, Breath of Fire 3 and 4, like so many good RPGs, dude.
Yeah. Terrace Cassie.
It's not an RPG.
I know. I'm talking about though, just like my general experience.
The 64, as much as I love it, nothing had the worst fighting games. I mean, Dark Rift was the best they got. Dark Rift.
Those wrestling games were kind of fun though.
The wrestling games were fun. I'll give you that. Like that, yeah. Those were the best fighting games they had. But I don't really consider wrestling games fighting games. They were more like brawlers where you just, you know what I mean? To me, they were more like Final Fight than they were like Street Fighter. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sneaking over to my buddy's house just to play Earthworm Jim was fun too, says King Chris. Yeah, Doug who created it, I hung out with that guy for a little bit at Comic-Con for like a couple of the days, but I was really stoned, like 2012. I don't really remember it very well. Tyrant says the good news about Disney Plus Day is I get to see Thor: Love and Thunder finally. Oh yeah, that is. I'm gonna watch that. I think I'm gonna watch that one. Probably watch that one tomorrow. That was on the docket of movies I might have taken the kids to see, but Bespin was like, that one's coming to Disney Plus Day like 3 days later, so just do that. I was like, okay. King Chris says, I will forever have a place in my heart for the original PlayStation because it gave me Final Fantasy VII and Tactics. Yeah, from my memory of it was what's that one fighting game? The
Battle Arena Toshinden.
Played that one, that the samurai one, that was
Tekken
great.
3.
Tekken.
Bushido Blade.
Tekken, yeah, but Bushido Blade. Tekken was probably like my favorite game on the PlayStation. That was probably like the one that I liked the most at that time. But I got my PlayStation through weird means. And what had happened was we had like a really weird friend, okay? He was really weird, like truly strange. And he would let me ride his bike home from my friend's house, and he would ride beside me like fucking Little Mac. And one day he's like, I'm like, let me ride your bike home. And he goes, no. And I'm like, well, if I get an extra copy of the Howard Stern tape. It was like a Howard Stern tape that you could get at, I want to say 7-Eleven. I can't remember exactly how it worked. And I was like, if I get an extra one, I'll let you have it.
Was it the party one? The one that was on pay-per-view where they're all like in beach party and Corey Feldman comes out in that Prince outfit and
was that what was it? Fucking something but Bongo Fiesta?
Yeah, but Bongo Fiesta.
It was after this is like 94, 95
time,
1995. And it was like an audio cassette tape, and it had like Metallica songs and like Stern bits on it or something. I can't remember it now. But anyways, I ended up not getting it. It was sold out everywhere. I never got it. And then so he gets really mad, deciding that I promised him the tape, which I did not. I said, if I got an extra one, he could have it. So the dude went and he stole my Queen CD collection, my 1991 remasters with bonus tracks, friends. Most of the bonus tracks were shit. But he steals it, and I just can't find him. I just can't figure it out. Like, what happened to my CDs? I'm just like, I can't figure it out. One day we're playing video games. We're playing PlayStation, and I don't remember what it was, but it was a competitive game, and I beat him. And he looks at me. He's like, "That's why I stole your Queen CDs and sold them." And I looked at him, and I was so pissed. I pulled his shirt over his head, and I just beat the shit out of him, for like 2 or 3 minutes, right? And then here's the funny part. He's like, my friend's mom walks in the room and sees me beating the shit out of him and knew he was a weird kid. So she decides, she thought we'd say that guy's going to shoot up the school someday. She starts beating the shit out of him. The mom sees me, and then she starts beating the shit out of him.
She joins in.
Yeah. And then she throws him out of the house. And then I looked at it and I'm like, well, there's a PlayStation. I guess that's what I got for my Queen CDs, which was
PlayStation.
Yeah, I took his PlayStation at the time. Those were like $20 a CD, and it was like the first like 12 Queen records. So it's quite a bit of money. It wasn't exactly a PlayStation.
Yeah, but it's also the principle that matters. Stealing from your friends and shit.
Yeah.
You don't steal from your mates. It's ridiculous.
No. And then the next day, his brother knocks on my door and is like, "We want the PlayStation." I was like, "I don't care." And it's like, I looked at him, and he just like looked at me.
Right.
He thought I was going to be like a a fifth grader or something. I don't think he really realized like that we had got hit puberty and we're like men's size now. And,
right.
Yeah, but yeah, it was weird times. That was the guy who later on my friend delivered a dead rabbit to him to the brother, and then they thought it was the mafia sending them a message, but it was really just thought they hit a rabbit with the car, and it ran in front of my friend's house and died. And we're like, what do we do with it? And we for some reason there was a UPS outfit there. Like my friend's mom went like thrifting and a UPS outfit. I don't know why she got it, but she did. And so we put it on our friend, and he drove it over and delivered the rabbit. And they were really scared about that rabbit back then. But fun times. Yeah, Twisted Metal was the game that guy loved. So I've never been able to respect Twisted Metal because of that kid's love for it. I'm sure it's a fine game. Twisted Metal 1 and 2 on PlayStation. Marvel versus Street Fighter, Masters of Terraskasi. Yeah, I know. Terraskasi, man, like, it wasn't good, but it was fun because it was like playing with Star Wars toys in a fun way to me at the time. Like,
What kills me is I when it came out, I was like, all right, look, I can make this, you know, I can enjoy this. But I don't understand. They're like, you can't have Yoda because a little guy can't fight a big dude. And I'm like, canonically, sure he could. Size doesn't matter, but I get it. Like, it was really because they couldn't make that
Attack of the
work, you know?
Clones. What was it?
Yeah.
Were they maybe saving it for? Did they maybe not want to show
they,
Yoda doing
they
that?
couldn't figure that
Oh,
out.
okay.
It's just the way rigs and the whole
I see.
pipeline for making a game in the day. But what got me was, you know, a couple years later, I'm talking to a dude who used to work at like Midway, right? And he was working at Angel Studios at the time. And he's like, this is when I found out, oh yeah, Mortal Kombat was a Star Wars game. I'm like, what? You know, like, it took a while for me. This is the internet knows this now because they talk about it, but this was not widely known in like '98, you know?
Yeah.
And so he goes, yeah. They were going to do a Star Wars game. They didn't want to pay for the licensing, so they were making it a Van Damme game. And then that just wasn't cool enough because, you know, he wanted to get paid, so they turned it into fucking Big Trouble in Little China, you know, meets Game of Death. And like, I'm like, really? He just name dropped all that shit. Because I got to Big Trouble in Little China because of Raiden, right? Like, that made sense in the Game of Death. But I was like, oh, yeah. But I didn't know. Because I was like, I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy, but if there was any reason to ever do a digitized fighting game, in my mind, I was like, why didn't they just do Star Wars? When I played Terraskasi, I'm like, why didn't they just do a 2D digitized game with all the actors or the, you know, people that look somewhat like them once they're pixelated, you know, like close enough. I don't get it. I'd rather just have a fun little Yoda flying around than this 3D thing that can't work, you know, like, because you're using lightsabers and limbs ain't flying off, so like, you know, like, fine, like, it's a game, it's not. You know, whatever.
Why don't they do a movie of Jack Burton versus Mortal Kombat? It'd be so good. That would break the world. Timmy says the first game I played was Atari in the early 80s. Yeah, Atari was like weird. Like the kid downstairs from me in my apartment was like really small, had an Atari. So like I played most of the big hits on it, you know, like, but it was always like I was somewhere and it was what I had to do because they didn't have a Nintendo yet, or Nintendo wasn't out yet. But
my mom is the one who got me in because she had an Atari and shit. She's the one that gets me into video games and then promptly hates on video games. You know what I mean? Like the minute kids loved them and they, you know, she hit her 20s and she's like, oh, that's just stupid. Games are stupid, you know?
Yeah.
Come here and bowl. I'd rather play a game. No, go bowl. All right, bowl. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And what was the main reason we like going bowling? Because you could go play video games after usually. Most bowling alleys, that was a thing, you know? They were kind of tied together.
Oh, no, my mom would be like, if you even look at that, we're not ever coming back. Like, it was just like, there's just this thing, man, in my house. It was like, if Rob enjoys something, we're taking it away from. Don't enjoy something. Only enjoy what we want you to enjoy. And even then, don't enjoy it too much, or we'll take it away.
Yeah.
It's a good lesson I learned.
You know what you should have enjoyed? Taking female prisoners to get ice cream.
Bro, it happened. Look it up.
No, I believe you. No, I believe you. I just think it's hilarious. Tyrant Love and Thunder is an awful movie. I will watch it and let you guys know, because I don't take the Marvel shit that seriously. I feel like I am able to enjoy the Marvel films as films for what they are. On like some friends of mine. I don't mean you, Rob. I just mean like in general. And it's like I'm curious to see if it's fun, because Thor Ragnarok was one of the most fun times I ever had watching a Marvel movie.
Yeah, but like anything else, man, I always say as an artist, you got to be careful you don't start to parody yourself. So if you have an art style, you want to make sure that you're always like on your own time, going back to like doing some realistic stuff on your own, gesturals, maybe working into something else. And then when you come back, you can see your work and what you do through fresh eyes, right? But if you're only cranking out what you do over and over and over again, eventually you start to end up with really weird fucking people, shapes, legs sticking all over the fucking place. Like it becomes a parody of itself. And it is
Like the
possible. I
Foo
haven't seen the
Fighters.
movie yet. Yeah, I like the first few albums.
I like
But
the first two. Yeah.
yeah, the one with the because that one with My Hero, that whole
Everlong's
that
great.
whole album,
Yeah.
that whole album is my soundtrack to 1080 snowboarding. So just play some Nintendo 64 1080 snowboarding and put that on, and it times up to all the tracks. It's great.
Oh,
Anyhow,
I colored in shape with some fucking Wave Race, bro. I was there.
but it is possible that they just leaned in too much onto what they do and parodied themselves, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, that's what happened to me with the Office. I love the early seasons of The Office, and then when I get to the back end of it, I want to beat the shit out of the whole show all the time.
when
Don't-
I'm more interested in the villains than the people, you got a problem. Like Robert California, I'm like, this should just be his show because everyone else is just
maybe you're
the fuck
becoming
out of me.
alt-right. You ever think about that? Maybe you like the Joker more now? No, I'm kidding. Tyrant says, you softcore weebs with your Final Fantasy and Breath of Fires. You should play some real shit like Legend of Dragoon or Vagrant Story. I remember Vagrant Story.
Don't talk shit about Vagrant Story, bro.
Yeah, I remember it.
The Vagrant Story is all Hitoshi Sakamoto's fucking masterpiece. Dude, I won't get started. And this weeb shit is fucking. Someone else brought that up to me. Oh, you weeb like Japanese shit. I'm like, the problem, Jason, is we would just call this nerd shit, but all the fucking streamers have tried to make nerd cool now. Den of nerds, den of geeks. Wait till you get den of weebs, right? Then you can be like, that's nerdy. That's because you got a little older. But that's what a nerd is.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd, you know? I'm not a geek,
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. Well, no, I think I'm more of a geek because I would put nerds in the category of them making math jokes. Like legitimate, like, then they're doing a problem and a function, and you know they kind of like do it's not this, but it's everyone's laughing, and I'm like looking around like I'm not there, you know.
Yeah.
Not in a negative sense, just in a like an intellectual nerddom. I'm not there. I'm like a geek. I'm like right above that, you know. It's just too nerdy for me.
God, you know what I rented a lot that was really terrible was The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. God, it was so fucking stupid.
NES.
Yeah, it was bad, and rented it a couple of times. Also, another game that also broke my heart was my mom had this little 1-bedroom house. It was tiny in Palm Springs. It's like over 105 degrees. And they're like, if you go stay with your mom for the week, I'll let you buy a game. So I buy Back to the Future 2 and 3, which was like a game. And I was like, it's 2 games in 1. What a deal. Boy, was that fucking hard. And it was terrible. You were just like picking up letters and stuff. It was
like a really bad root beer tapper clone. It was like a bunch of like shitty versions of like those arcade games, and they all packaged them into something else. Yeah, it wasn't good, man. The game that I loved that everyone hated was Legacy of the Wizard.
Mm-hmm.
And Legacy of the Wizard was like, because it was like Metroid, but you had a whole family, you know? And it was so fucking long, and there was like no save and shit. It was just brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Yeah. But I did enjoy it.
Yeah. There was the game that I'm trying to think of. Somebody's like, give me like one detail, and I'm like, I can't even give one detail of this game. I'm actually like looking through a list right now of games, and you know, it's like a lot of games. I had a lot of these games, like an Ice Climber, you know, shit that was like not really good, but the first iteration of it, like Karnov. I beat Karnov. That was a really, really fucking hard one to beat, like, for me, anyways. I
didn't have any of them. My dad got an NES when it came out in Christmas of '85, right? Not the cool set, just the 2-player one. Didn't even come with Mario at the time. You said to get that separate. He got the base system, bought Mario separate, got a Zapper separate, wasn't there at launch, shipped like later that summer.
Yeah.
And then he bought Commando, Wrecking Crew, Hogan's Alley, and Pinball. And wouldn't buy another video game for me until 1991.
Yeah.
Like I only played other games when people would bring them to my house, or when eventually in 88, 89, you could rent a video game like at a video store. I had to beg like nobody's business, but I played Commando,
Yeah.
Pinball, Wrecking Crew, and the first Mario Brothers more than any game I've ever played in my entire. And I fucking hate Hogan's Alley, so
Yeah, yeah. I was into the Akari Warriors games too. Actually, really like the Akari Warriors games, which don't really hold up that well. But so I just went through a whole fucking list, and the game I'm trying to remember is not in there. Was not in the fucking list. Man, that's frustrating. Because it's a game that I could not remember anything about, and then I saw, like I said, Angry Video Game Nerd playing it. And it was like a game I remember where you would hit like every now and then you would hit like blocks that were like secret blocks to like open up ways to like get through.
So Milo's Secret Castle.
What was Milo?
Solomon's Key, Milo's Secret Castle, or Solomon's Key?
It wasn't Solomon's Key. It might have been Milo.
Milo's Secret Castle.
Yeah, Secret Castle.
Yeah, it was like a puzzle game where you're in a castle, you're a little wizard dude. But like it's like you're kind of trapped in it. You have to find your way out. You have to hit like random fucking areas to unlock shit. Yeah. I liked it, but you gotta remember,
I liked it a lot.
I don't like it now, but I liked all this shit because I was stuck with 4 fucking games.
Yeah.
So like gotta understand, when I didn't like Legend of Zelda, that's saying something.
Right. Yeah.
I should have been like, I'll take it. Nah, I'll play Goonies too.
Yeah, well, no, that was the thing, was like back then, like you did explore every single block of a game, like you did break every block in the end to try to find, I didn't like Mighty Bomb Jack, but I did rent it a couple of times.
Good name.
Yeah,
these were
Milo's,
great names.
Yeah, you're right.
Bad
you're right,
games.
Rob. Yeah, you were totally right. Milo's, it was a Hudson sock. Yeah,
yeah. This is my. Bro, this is unfortunately what I know. Like I'm not proud of it.
No, I saw it in it's Mylan's Secret Castle.
Mylon's Secret Castle.
Mylon's Secret
I called
Castle.
it Milo, but yeah, Mylon.
Yeah. I think as a kid I just called it Secret Castle because I didn't know what that was. But Angry Video Game Nerd. It looks like he did it back in 2010. My son likes the Angry Video Game Nerd a lot. So I
you know why he did it? Because that's when fucking Game Center CX took off, and they tried bringing it over here. Cacho, the guy who did it, started doing this, playing video games for like a TV show in Japan, like in 2000, like 2001. He was like 30, still going. It's great, but. They brought that Milo's Secret Castle one over here, and they tried doing a dub, and it didn't work. But those Game Center CXs are great. If you can get all the rips and shit, they're fucking brilliant. Because it's just like watching a 30-year-old comedian try to play the world's shittiest, and then you see him playing a game that he never played that you remember being great, like say Ninja Gaiden, and you think, yeah, it's fucking tough. Yeah, he dies a lot. It's hell, but he does end up liking it. Like. And then they played the Japanese has had games that we fucking couldn't stand, like weird train simulation games on the NES that could not have been fun, but they're getting a kick out of it because like, oh, I know this train line. You're like, sucks.
Yeah.
But he did play it through. Yeah, Mylon Secret Castle.
Yep, that was it. That was it right there. And I really, really liked it as a kid. Like I was pretty into it. Good time.
I put in the same category as an Adventure Island or Lolo's Secret Adventure. Lolo, right? The Tomato game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wizards and Warriors. Yeah,
I like that one a lot too.
Same category.
Yeah. King Chris is all. Only Tom Sawyer 100 was the Rush song. Yeah. That game was not any good. And Milo noticed, man, if you ever want to. King Chris has a little kitty in his avatar, but if you want to read about the history of that movie, you will be disturbed and never enjoy it again. Boy, did they do some horrible stuff to get shots in that movie. Like those cats in water didn't do so well. Superfry says, you all remember Conker's Bad Fur Day for N64? No, I don't. Actually, I don't remember that one.
Yeah. So the thing about Conkers was, that this was like that time on the internet when IGN was called N64.com, right? They were part of the Imagine Games network, but they would report on this thing called Project Dream. It was going to be this big like game from Rare that was going to be even bigger than Zelda 64, which hadn't come out yet. And it took forever and ever, became Banjo-Kazooie, was not, anywhere near what Ocarina was. But their like redemption arc to that like cooler than Zelda thing was Conkers. And it just was another cute furry little thing. So they put him in Diddy Kong Racing, and he's a cute little dude. You're like, oh look, he's cute. And they're like, fuck. So they went and just did they're British, so they're like, we'll just make him like a spoof, right? Like, so in that game, he's spoofing the Matrix. Even the ending of the game is the King Conan, fucking ending. So Conkers is actually execution wise, it's one of their better games, but it comes out at that part of the Nintendo 64 where everyone was like Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, who cares? Like, so you just kind of don't remember it.
Yeah.
Is the problem. Yeah.
God, that guy I was talking about before, fucking this guy. So the bass player we put through the car wash, the car wash guy.
Yeah.
He we're all hanging out one day, and we wanted to get that new wrestling game. I don't know what it was now. It was probably for the Nintendo 64. Might have been for the PlayStation though.
WWF No Mercy, NWO versus blah 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 blah.
You were able to make your own characters in it, so that was really cool because you can make ridiculous characters, and then like that's what we liked. That's what we mostly had fun with. And this motherfucker, dude, gets on his. So I stole beer from work, and his job was to go rent the game, and they didn't have it. And we're all hanging out. We got beers. We're ready. And the motherfucker brings back Bug Riders for the PlayStation. This is what This is what he decided to do with our money. Like that was all our money, dude. Like 1997.
Could have at least grabbed something sports related, right?
Something,
you know what I mean? Not fun, but multiplayer.
Yeah. But
what year is this Bug Rider? Is this 97 or 96?
Yeah,
97. So Blitz, I think that's right at the front end of Blitz. Probably wasn't available at Blockbuster at that time. Because once Blitz is out, I'm not a football guy, but Blitz was a game anyone could fucking play, right? Like you put that in, we could all fucking. But on the PlayStation, there's just not a lot of multiplayer shit on the PlayStation, man. Well, that wasn't the system for multiplayer games, man.
No,
PlayStation. Like,
no, he could have just got the old wrestling game that we used to play. Like he could have just done he could have done anything.
Right.
That's what he did because he wanted to play that because the motherfucker wanted to play Bug Riders. And
he wanted to play Bug Riders.
So
they probably had 16 copies of it too.
Just like Bug Riders. So I like roast him, and I'm like, that was like the last of our money. And then he fucking calls up his job and goes like, hey, some stuff happened. Can I get paid a day or two early? And I'm like, all right, this guy's making things right now. So he goes and he's like, I'm gonna get on my rollerblades and I'm gonna go to the other video store. I'm gonna go to Hollywood Video, and I'm gonna get us something. And for wasting the last of your money, he's like, I'm gonna buy you a Subway sandwich for dinner. I'm like, a $5 footlong for me? Okay. So what would you like? And I'm like, I'll just have just give me a tuna sandwich, mayo and pickles, a little bit of lettuce. I'll be good. That'll be good for me for today. So motherfucker goes after getting Bug Riders, and then he comes back and he brings me a tuna sandwich with fucking mustard, no mayo. Mustard. I was like, are you seriously? Are you fucking trolling me now? And I'm like, Buzz.
It would have been great if you brought you another copy of Bug Riders, so there's two of them. That's what I would have done. If I was gonna troll my friend, I would have wasted my own. I would have got paid early, gone down there, wasted my own money to then rent another copy of Bug Raiders just because I knew you couldn't get anything.
Rented it on the Nintendo 64 or something.
I know I would get on the exact same system. Now you got two, right? One for each hand, and then look. I used to be a real vicious, like not like I couldn't physically, but psychologically I'd play those games. I was that guy, and I paid my price. I lost all my friends. You know, that's where that leads you.
Tyrant says, "Fuck." Old school IGN gave it a 3 out of 10. That's like getting a turd sandwich with extra diarrhea sauce, and then another sandwich with tuna with mustard. Do people eat tuna with mustard?
Though.
That's fucking crazy. To me.
I did, but I like bitter and sour foods.
Monster.
What I don't do though, and I never have, and I have a rule with it: you don't fuck with food. Don't fuck with a person's. Like food is the thing we don't fuck around with. You know, you got to be able to trust what you're eating and drinking around your friends. You know, I don't get you the wrong order on purpose. I don't fucking fuck with your food. I don't put some. We don't fuck with food. That's my rule. You know, I see you even fucking with the orders. We're no longer friends. You can't trust them. Yeah. Can't trust.
Nope, you can't. No, you can't.
Like I would have brought you another copy of Bug Riders, but got you like the 2 of those sandwiches. Like I would just we're playing Bug Riders, bitch. You know what I mean? But you got 2 sandwiches, so sit down.
Dude, that guy, man, fucking. I had like a girlfriend. I didn't know how to break up with her. You know, it was like a girl I was with like all throughout high school.
Oh, I
know. It was like like over, and then I met this other girl at school that was like more of my jam at the time and stuff, and we were completely into each other, and so we would always try to walk in the door at the same time so we could like talk, connect, whatever you want to say. That motherfucker knew this, but would run up, open the door, and go, "M'lady." He fucking seriously, "M'lady." And she went on my Facebook and she's like, "Remember when that guy said "M'lady"? Like she posted it. Like I got proof that it happened. That a real "M'lady" instance happened.
He worked that one out too. That's what's great in his mind. You know what I mean? Like he in his mind he was working that move out.
Want to hear the ultimate irony?
Sure.
We were so fucking. We were so hard on him about that, and just being a little weasel. You know, he was a little weasel too, by the way. That when Attack of the Clones came out, he didn't like it because they said "M'lady." That was his criticism.
Baby killer.
Yeah.
Look, let's be honest. It's not a good movie, but that's like the least offensive part of it.
And I mean, it's chivalrous, I say. But yeah,
chivalrous, yeah. But you recognize how much of a douche word that is to use, and then he uses it.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have been like, "This is not a good movie" because she says "M'lady." It does hold court. Like
when you look like us, you can't say "M'lady." When you look like Hayden Christensen, you can make it work. You know what I mean?
You have a point.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he could pretty much say anything.
I'll concede
just like
that.
Natalie Portman could pretty much say anything for the most part. You know, like, hey, maybe January 6th was Antifa, and I'd be like, maybe.
Well, you want to prove this? Fucking what's her face is anti-vax, right? Evangeline Lilly. She's kind of Natalie Portman-ish, right? People up and plumb forgot about all that. They're gonna go right there and see Ant-Man 3, but this chick is out there fucking Trumper, anti-vaxxer, all that shit, you know? So,
yeah.
Remember
when she did that phone sex commercial before she was famous?
No.
You ever see that? Yeah, she did one of those, like, you know, when you were like watching USA Up All Night, like Toxic Avenger, and there'd be like those girls that are like, call me. She was one of them. And then it
I know what I'm gonna look up after the show.
Yeah, you should. It's good.
I will be checking that one out.
Yeah, it completely makes sense.
It's a living.
Like,
yeah,
I'm not knocking it at all. You know, I'm like, But it is funny when you see like the star of Lost going, "Call me." EGM Review Crew gave 5.0, 4.0, 3.0, and 4.5. Game Fan gave individual scores of 42, 55, 52. Game Pro gave scores of 4.0 out of 5 for graphics, 3.0 5 out of sound, 1.5 for control, and 2.0 for fun.
Gotta remember the Game Fan scores were out of 100. Dave and them would do those they would do them out of 100. So
okay.
And what that says even more is like I spent a lot of time. Dave Halverson was the guy who started all that Game Fan shit. And I worked with them on Game Fan 2. All right, they call it 2010, but it's whatever. And so I spent a lot of time with Dave, like just me and him in a room, And I would go, so let's be honest, some of these games, if they just bought some ads, would they've gotten a higher score? He's like, 70, 80, what's the diff? And it's like, so Bug Riders, had they just bought the inside ad, they would have gone up to a 72. That's what I'm saying. What's the difference between a 42 and a 72? It's a rental. It doesn't matter.
When a part of me inside was like almost afraid, but hoping Bug Riders was going to be good. I was like, I'm going to be so mad if Bug Riders actually is good. And then the other part of me was like, it's not going to be good. It's fucking Bug Riders. And this guy just wasted our time. Yeah. And then we watched
I just don't
him
even
play
understand
it.
how you go from wanting to play a wrestling game to Bug Riders. Like, I mean, I like some weird Japanese shit, but Bug Riders isn't even weird Japanese shit. It's like when you get those lame Canadian cartoons on TV, and you're like, fucking raccoons. The song is cool, but it don't even tie into the fucking cartoon.
Well, it's like you and all your buds are together, and you're like, hey, go rent Conan the Barbarian. And then like he comes back with like Mr. Belvedere season 1 or something. Like
he comes back with the live action Guyver film, And it's got Mark Hamill. You're like, you fucking want to kill you. Couldn't even get the anime. Get the fucking live action shit.
I still have his. I think I still have his Tromeo and Juliet from Hollywood Video though. I think I still got it.
James
I
Gunn.
never returned it. Yeah. But Tyrant says you have your people like that. Then you have your people like Gerstmann who refused to bump Kane and Lynch score up from GameSpot because they bought ads and then got canned for it very publicly. Ouch.
Yeah, they did. But that's just how it worked. And they only got that ad money not because they get a good review score. It was tit for tat because they would say we got 1 million subscribers. We got 1 million subscribers. Yeah, because you gave the magazine for free. It's not 1 million people handing you $20 a month. It's like $17 at best for the year. You know what I mean? Like, but they would take those numbers and then hand them to the ad people. The ad people would then give them money to put that in front of your face. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, Yeah. That's how it all works.
All right, come on, computer. My computer is being a punk right now. Trying to. There we go. I think if we talked about it on the show, we have to. What was it? What's called Live Link? Live Link's commercial. Here we go. Pulling it up now.
This is apropos. Let's do it.
Yeah.
This is way better than. You know what? This is way better than Disney Plus Day. Guaranteed.
Oh sure.
Guaranteed.
No, it definitely will be. I promise you that. All right, here we go. Thank you, Pimstick, for the help. Here we go.
Appreciate it.
Tonight, I'm going to do something just for me. I'm going to Live Links. It's the best place to meet local singles, and you can try it for free. You don't need to go out to have a good time. Just pick up your phone and call Live Links. There are so many fun and exciting singles on all the time. You can always connect live with someone local. Try Live Links for free.
Yeah.
And meet someone special right now.
Just do it.
Live Links free.
It's just do it.
1-800-210.
I should call it right now. I called Evangeline Lilly.
I feel like
on the other end.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you where Hollywood missed out on Scream 2 and 3. This is how you start Scream 2. You have Evangeline Lilly doing this commercial, right? And you go, I haven't seen the movie. We get the live link, and then Ghostface comes out of fucking Ghostface. And like, what? Or she puts on the phone, hey, what's up, Sydney? You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. Got live linked, murdered, you know? Because it's just dudes. Like women just have to step out the fucking door. And you know what I mean? Like, any woman, really, and they get fucking, like, this is so weird. So it's just dudes. It's just dudes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I know. Every now and then, I go on, I mean this, like, respectfully, but when I go on, like a dating app, and I'll be, like, the most busted person ever. And, like, if you just want to fuck, you're looking in the wrong place. And I'm like, ew. Next, anyways. But yeah, because that is their reality. That's how it is. It's a whole. Tyrant says, nah, not condoning that. That's just what it is. Nah, still not as good as the rapper of the game getting rejected on the dating show Change of Heart before he got famous. Yeah, that's funny.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, remember when wasn't like the Night Stalker? Was it the Night Stalker who was on
Richard Ramirez?
Richard Ramirez, was he on the dating game? The one that she wouldn't go out with him. She's like,
know.
nah, I'm good. He seems a little fucking insane.
Oh, yeah? I missed that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened. I mean, it might be crazy. Hold on. Serial killer on dating game. I thought it was Richard Ramirez.
That just triggered the NSA.
Yeah. Okay, no, it was Rodney Alcala. Alcala is often referred to as the dating game killer because of his 1978 appearance on the television show The Dating Game in the midst of a murder spree. And he has like that same, I remembered it because he has that same like fucking like that same like kind of like hair, you know, like that big do you know who he is?
The 1978 dude? No, I don't. The dating game killer.
See, check him out. Like just like in the little photo, you could see like right there, like he has that same kind of
same. Yeah, look that everyone thought they were Freddie Mercury look.
Yeah, everyone, but you're really just a serial killer.
You know, that guy could have passed for Freddie Mercury a little bit if you didn't know in the 70s, right? You know what I mean? If you were like, he busts out an accent and does a little karaoke, he could have pulled that one off.
Yeah, but basically, like he ends up winning because I guess, like, if I remember the story right, he ends up winning because he's a sociopath who knows how to say all of the right things to win anything, you know? And then he does, but when it comes time for the girl to go out with him, she's just like, got a bad vibe. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. She doesn't go out with him. And sorry, he got rejected twice on Change of Heart. Oh shit. It was Change of Heart the one where they always got in the hot tub, like around the 2000s?
Never saw it. The only one I saw was the Newlywed Game when I was a kid.
The one where they made Whoopi?
They would say Whoopi. Yeah, and everyone would go,
oh, Whoopi.
And I'd be like, whoa, I don't know what they're talking about. Whoa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I liked Love Connection because they had that like little machine, and the audience could vote. And I was like, man, I want to vote. I want to go there and I want to hit the button and vote.
Be honest, man. If it wasn't Plinko, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, Plinko was badass. my friend Rahima, who I went to college with, she got on the show, but then she lost really quick. Like she got like, you know how like you get picked, it's kind of like the bad rotation where you're just not going to get much like out of it. That was her, unfortunately. But no, that was Blind Date, I think. Oh, okay. But yeah, like around the early 2000s, I remember there was this one, and it was like right before Cheaters came out. You ever see when the guy from Cheaters got stabbed?
What's Cheaters?
Cheaters was like a show where if you would think like your spouse was cheating on you, and then they would launch an investigation that would either humiliate you for being a paranoid weirdo or uncovered that you were being cheated on.
I'm going to assume this takes place between 1998 and 2003.
This is around 2000, 2001-ish, probably.
So I didn't see any TV during this time.
Was this when you're in the army?
I was literally just working and college and working in college and working. I nothing. I didn't get to see Fully Cooley. Wanted to. Didn't get to see. The only thing I would get to see randomly would be a movie because I'd be able to take a date out, right? So I could see Pirates of the Caribbean or a
Mummy.
Hulk or the Mummy 2. Mummy
Mummy 2.
2. Mummy was 99, man. But
Okay.
Mummy 2, yeah, most certainly,
Okay.
yes.
Man, I remember watching Mummy 2 with that balloon, hot air balloon. I was really mad. I was really mad at that hot air balloon. I don't know why, but I was really
Still
mad
liked
at
it more than fucking the prequels. So.
Man, you're fucking high.
Bad
fucking
CG
high,
and all.
Fucking,
Yeah,
you're high.
possible. It's possible.
Tyron says, I have a theory that anyone who does great at Price is Right is prime suspect for serial killer. I think we might have talked about it before, Tyrant, but did you ever see the documentary about the guy who like studied the prices and like kind of like cracked the code? I think it might be free on YouTube to watch now, like as like one of their like, you know, like movies to watch for free or whatever. But super interesting. And then like it turns out there's this like hot blonde girl who's like going to all of the shows all the time trying to get on the show. He starts trying to get a thing going. I was like, do it, dude. You can do it, man. Price is right for you. It's pretty cool. But any news on Hayden's role in Ahsoka? Sorry, I didn't mean to skip over that. All we know is the first stuff that we heard, and then I heard that Darth Vader in the suit was like coming back, and that they were getting the team back together, and that's about all I know on it. Our assumption is that it's going to be a recreation of the duel from Star Wars Rebels, maybe expanded, maybe not, but because that would require Hayden, and it would require, you know, Vader in the suit. Because Vader in the suit is
there's
dead.
nothing new to report Star Wars wise right now. We're in the dead zone, folks. Just trust me. Right before a show comes out, everything goes silent. Like the only time Jason sometimes gets something, but it's always so minute. He's like, I don't even know if I want to do a show for this. Like I've done this. This is our third one out with you, buddy. You know, like it seems pretty like however that I don't know how it works with inside info because you think that could leak whenever, but it's just however it's working out. I mean that's why the Ahsoka thing was kind of cool because like this is breaking form, and then they were like, now we're out. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and you know, like in the situation that they were in, it's like you don't like I'm really super curious to see what the quality of the info, not Tales of the Jedi. I think the Tales of the Jedi stuff will probably be pretty fucking on.
Because we have footage.
And also there was a rumor going around that I'm not endorsing. I'm just saying it's going around that Tales of the Jedi was like gonna hit with Disney Plus Day or something, but I don't think so. I think they would announce it.
I'll take the it's not happening money. Who wants to say it's happening tomorrow? Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, I have no vote at all, but I'm just like I kind of think tomorrow. See, when we had Disney Plus Day before, what made it extra shitty, Rob, was that there was no D23, which is a biannual event, but also the pandemic. And so there was no D23. Now we have Disney Plus Day as sort of like the fucking, you know, it's the, you know, buffer for D23. It's like here's where we get a bunch of the small stuff out of the way and drop some shit and give a reason just to talk about the platform. So it won't be as bad this year considering that D23 will follow the very next fucking day. You know,
just the fact that it's happening at all. Like I don't get. It should just be something they do at D23. I'm not going to Twitter and staring at Twitter waiting for them to put out a fucking logo. Like this is the meanest. It's so mean. It's just it insults everything in my opinion about fandom, a company to their fans. To me, it's so you can put it all in a magazine, make me buy it. At least there's something there to like. I don't know. It's just so fucking. Who cares, man? Who cares? Who cares?
Who cares?
But apparently everyone cares because like I'm the only one who gets genuinely angered by it. But whatever. What do I know?
My whole thing is I just don't really understand it, why it exists in the way that it does at all. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's just to maybe like the idea is if you do that, then the media pays attention to it as an entity itself, and then stuff gets probably covered that wouldn't, you know? Like, I don't know. Does anybody really give a fuck about the
No one
Pinocchio movie?
remembers.
I don't
No.
know. I don't
No,
think
and this
so.
is why I told you, like, my stance is this, and is like, if numbers is what rules what's working and getting made at Disney, right? Like, cancel any fucking film that isn't a Marvel or Star Wars thing right now. Take that budget, give it to what you're already making, and give them more episodes with more shit. Just delete the Pinocchio movie. It's pointless. Take that $200 fucking million you wasted and shove it into fucking Ms. Marvel and give it fucking 18 more episodes. Shove it into fucking Loki season 2 or Boba Fett or something to bring up the fucking, or Kenobi, bring up the fucking level of quality of what you already got. Because this is a colossal waste of time and money for everyone involved. Fucking lame.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing in this commercial that couldn't have been achieved in an Energizer Bunny fucking spot for 30 seconds that would have been funny. Hey, look, Tom Hanks is Geppetto, and he put the batteries in Pinocchio, and now he's a little boy. There, that is right there is a better fucking thing that we all experienced in this movie.
Tomorrow we will see if they learned anything or took any of the suggestions from last year, or if they just went straight ahead like they did last time, you know. But I don't. Disney people, man, are a different breed than the Star Wars people. Like, when I go to D23, I see people fucking crying at seeing the desk from Mary Poppins and the new Mary Poppins and shit. I'm just like, I don't know what is going on right now or where I'm at, you know. But
well, they can all sit anxiously at their computers staring at the Disney fucking Twitter page because, like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No, I don't know if we should really. I mean, that Star Wars documentary for Kenobi comes out tomorrow. That's like the behind the scenes for it, and I'm excited to like see it. Excited to get the extras. I wish I got it before now, but I think that's like going to be our Star Wars thing for tomorrow. That's my guess.
It's crazy. Like, that comes out when no one fucking cares. You know what I mean? Right before something else that has nothing to do with Kenobi's about to ship. Everyone's supposed to be interested in that. It's like in the middle of fucking a Lord of the Rings / fucking Game of Thrones news cycle.
Hold on.
Like,
what if they announce Kenobi 2 on Saturday though? Then it does. It has a different.
Then, okay, great. But if it's just that, the way it's
Yeah.
been for every other one of these things, you know, then what a fucking waste.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, I want the extras. I would rather have had them when the series ended, but I'll take it, you know.
30 days after, at least, you know, like, I don't know, man.
Tyrant says Cheaters began airing in 2000, and as of 2020, it has 21 seasons and 330 episodes. That's 330 episodes of sadness. Cheaters was a trip.
There you
it was
go.
addicting.
Put cheaters in charge. Put those cheaters people in charge of the DCEU. That'll solve all the fucking problems. Like,
Hey.
Yeah, right.
I gotta say though, I didn't see Disney Plus Day outliving the fandom, and it did. Tyrant says on the bright side, Disney Plus Day, where they are talking about putting more content on the service. Meanwhile, over at Warner Discovery, yeah, the only thing that Warner's is doing right. Well, you know. Warner Brothers, I saw that they almost had somebody to run DC, who was the guy who did like the fucking didn't go through.
Lego Batman.
No, Lego Batman guy.
Yeah, well,
no.
I'll tell you why he didn't go through, because the dude has fucking one of the coolest production companies. He's got this posh fucking office and shit, and he'd have to fucking get rid of all that and become an employee. Why would you?
Yeah.
Unless there's $1 billion involved, why would I quit the dream gig with the posh everything, doing whatever the fuck I want to have to report to some fucking dude and prove my worth? I don't even get the incentive. Like, the fact that they even asked this fucking dude shows to me that how incompetent the fucking leadership must be, because you just do the math. You know, like, the dude already, it'd be like, if he had never made a DC anything, maybe you can get this guy on nostalgia. But he already made Lego Batman. For me, the second greatest Batman film ever made. Like, and possibly the funniest fucking film made, at least since Anchorman, 100%. So, like, it's so good that I just don't, for what? You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. That was a weird fucking bit of news all
Yeah.
around.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not really too. You know, there hasn't really been a DC movie I've liked yet. They just haven't been for me. I like the Joker movie, I
The
guess,
Batman?
but
You
and
like
I,
that?
I like the Batman, yeah. But I'm
We
thinking
gotta
like
be careful, Jason.
the fucking no, like the Batman, like the Joker, but like Batman versus Superman and all of that connective stuff. I haven't liked it. I like the Wonder Woman movie when I saw it in the theater as a night out with the family. But we own it, and I don't really enjoy rewatching it or anything. Thomas says, thinking there will be a Book of Boba Fett 2. I would say it's completely possible, but I'm betting against it. And I'm just betting against it just because I don't feel like any of the signs we saw have been evidence that Book of Boba Fett 2 is on the horizon. If
I
it
told
is,
you it's never gonna happen, and the only reason for it to happen would be to put Mace in, which they're not gonna fucking put Mace. So put him in with the fucking Obi-Wan or something else. They're just not.
yeah,
It's not happening.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
Meg's like,
no. I think that they'll continue the story, but I don't know. I don't know what the average Joe's like reaction is to the idea of more of it. Like honestly, I have I have the guys at my 7-Eleven, they all watch Disney Plus Star Wars and they always hit me up over it. And like they were excited about Kenobi. They were, they enjoyed Book of Boba Fett. They don't see it as stupid. You know what I mean? They don't have like big critiques. They just enjoyed. I sat down and watched like stuff, kind of shit. And but I haven't heard anybody talk about Book of Boba. Like they've asked me about, is Kenobi 2 going to be a thing, but nobody's really mentioning. So I'm curious what what the man on the streets thing is.
Here's what all the fans of that show are gonna do when the Book of Boba Fett characters appear in Mando season 3 or 4, and it's a halfway entertaining episode because we're not being subjected to fucking a full hour of these motherfuckers, for 7 episodes. They're gonna go, this was good. This proves it should have its own series again. And you're just like, guys, they're not gonna like Marvel will keep making 4 different series a year, fine, But I really do feel like Lucasfilm is still of that conservative mindset where they're like, we only got so much budget, so if we're gonna make it this, it's coming out of that. You don't want the budget for Mando season 4 to be divvied up between a Book of Boba. Give them an episode, take that money and just give it to shit that fucking matters. We can get really cool Rancor CGI in a Mando series. We can get really cool Hutt CGI in a Mando series or in a Kenobi series. We do not need to sit there watching him sit at a fucking table trying to figure out how you can get people to like him a little bit more for fucking 9 more episodes.
Well, that's where I kind of fall on it though. Right now I fall where if they don't do anymore, I'm cool. Like just do other stuff in other places. Put him in Mando. I'm good with that. Continue that stuff there. I'm fine with it. At the same time, I also feel like it's kind of like a mostly only up from here kind of situation. Because
you're one of those guys that like the Attack of the Clones, I'm assuming.
I did like it.
It's only up after the Phantom Menace. Well, not for me.
Well, no, I mean when you really get down to it, like him like Bacta tanks and ruling with respect and like just like the fucking trudgery of it, I do not think that they have the attention span to do that again. You know what I mean? Like I don't see Favreau being like, I want to do that again. I just don't see him even like being interested in doing that another time.
Are we even going to pretend like we didn't sit through a shitload of fucking pointless X-Men films that just kept doing the same? Gene,
yeah,
Gene, love me.
But Favreau, I don't think Favreau would do it. It's kind of my hope or my assumption.
Gene.
You know what I mean? Right though? I mean, yeah.
God, Gene. I can't take it. If I gotta sit through one more fucking X-Men film where some guy cries about Jean not liking him, I swear to fucking, I'll take myself out. You know, like I'm out the world. I'm done. You know, we're done here. Good. Had a good run. You know?
And I'm with you. And my date brought her friend with her to see it with us. So that happened. You know, I've had some X-Men woes. My average Joe Star Wars fan's reaction to Book of Boba Fett was, "This is slow. Neon Vespas. Finally, Mando. Okay, when is Kenobi?" That's actually the internet's reaction. I think the hardcore reaction was mostly that. I mean, you had your people who would just defend anything, and then you had your people who would just shit on anything at the same time. So you kind of had like
Meg and me, respectively.
Megan me. That's a new book that you got coming out.
You know, she loves it all. No, you know that show's so fucking bad, it pissed Meg off. You know, like she was trying. Well, you know, Crimson Dawn, and then when that didn't happen, she was like, she got it. She got what I realized with the prequels. We're not getting the most obvious fucking answer here. We're not getting it. You know, we're getting techno unions. Techno union. We're gonna get bad guys who cough. You know, although after COVID, I think it's more dangerous than we think now. General Grievous, he was spreading around Star Wars monkeypox the whole time.
I mean, but you do end up with like the main. I mean, they know. I don't think it's their fault. I honestly don't think the Vespas were bad. I don't think they think those kids were bad. They just didn't make it work. They didn't make it coherent or cohesive. So I don't see them wanting to go and like pick that up and go like, I kind of see them tearing it all down and then sending him on a revenge path from having everything taken from him, kind of thing, and him being a character who just can't get on top. And that's the best way to handle it.
I've said it since that day that thing got done.
Mm-hmm.
You can always Wrath-A-Con it. Yeah. You know, you can always put them in the worst fucking position, but you got to have people who have something to say. They have the vision. They're going to see it through. In my experience as a fan, right, since the 90s, anytime I've seen a studio want to take a bad guy and make him a good guy, it just doesn't work. Like John Wick wasn't a bad guy when we got to know him. John Wick was just a dude who loved his dog, and then they killed his dog. So now we're as mad. But you didn't get to spend, you know, like fucking 20 years watching John Wick kill your fucking friend's family for money. You know, otherwise you would have hated him. Then when they kill his dog, you're like, you deserved it, bitch. You know, like it. So it's like Boba Fett was a bad dude, but then we got to make him a good dude when we never really got to see him even be a cool bad dude. Yeah. You know, like we just kind of were always like, when are we going to get to see this dude be a real bad guy? Even in the prequels, he's like kind of nice. Like to me, Kenobi comes in there, he has the kid jump on him, stabs him in the fucking neck a couple times, shanks him fucking prison style and shit. Kenobi's like, oh god, right? They shove him out the fucking window. You know? Like that's what bounty hunters do.
Yeah. No, that's why I don't see how that series ended as being sustainable for the character, or you know what I mean, like or of any kind of interest. And so I think at the end of the day, if they do take it all away from him, then he has to go back to bounty hunting, or you know, he tries to be good and he just can't, or whatever. Or does he realize that there's a reason that all of the people become what they become, and then he rejects it ultimately, or something like that. Like there's potential there, but him in Jabba's palace with his furry Wookiee and his new kids and his wife that won't fuck him, like that just sounds boring.
Fucking Monopoly games, you know. Fucking useless Monopoly games. I knew we were in for a fucking ride when we had to do that Monopoly board episode. I'm losing my mind. That fucking thing we had to do. Remember when we had to do the Monopoly game one? Third worst episodes for me on this show, right? Disney Plus Day is number 1. Holiday Special Day, because bro, I did not legitimately fucking know that was coming. You know? And 2, whatever we just talked about, I just deleted it from my head. Whatever. The board game, thank you.
The Boba Fett board game. Yeah.
It was so annoying. My mind deleted it during this conversation, Jason.
It was weird that they put Mace Windu on that board game, though. I will say that much. But yeah. I just don't really know if they like need to go back to Boba Fett. And then when we look at what we know in Mando 3, like that's what the other thing is. Like with Mando 3, it sounds like we have like Mandalore coming, like a Mandalore is back, like a leader, and they're all united and stuff. And I'm like, the only thing is, does Boba Fett go against them? Do you know what I mean? Like that could be cool.
It just feels like this quest to be the leader of Mandalore should have been the focus of his own fucking show. When he's talking about legacy and my father and I'm my whatever, I got a chain code. That felt like the natural progression.
They made it for
that
Din.
Dude.
Yeah, they made it for Din.
It's so weird. So the thing no one is asking that motherfucker to do. You know?
I don't think it was ultimately wise to do their shows concurrently, to be honest with you. Like the people love it. I'm not saying that that's not the case, but I really did feel like I didn't need Boba Fett once Din was like working. And now I got like 2 Boba Fett shows basically. And I would rather have had, Acolyte, for instance, like something that I've never had before.
Boba should have become the bad guy so we could have our hero Boba Fett fight the bad Boba Fett. So they created a good guy Boba Fett, right? So they got what they wanted. And now we can let the bad guy Boba Fett actually be a bad guy, but then they turn him into a hero. Now I'm getting mad, Jason. Like this, it's like legitimately the fan of me so fucking frustrated at this logic, this giant logic fucking gap. You created a hero Boba Fett everyone loves, and you gave him a fucking baby Yoda everyone loved. And then you're like, let's ruin all that goodwill by adding another Boba Fett who's also a hero.
Yeah.
No one wanted that.
But if we look at it like in a long, melodramatic kind of thing, if they did tear them up, if they did build them up as buds and then tear them apart and make them enemies, then you have like your good Boba Fett and your bad Boba Fett with Boba Fett. It could be. There's no indication
should have been how they had
at all.
But he's like Mando's working for him now. You're doing the wrestling thing where I gotta have my guy. I gotta have the guy you like job for my fucking guy, so you can show my guy superior. So he's working for the real Boba Fett. The fake one's working for the real one. Now that makes him better. You just hate him even more. You're like, I fucking hate this motherfucker. So I don't know, man. I'm not getting it. It could have been there, but I'm not getting it.
So back in the day, KG, the way I heard it, which may not be true, but the way I heard it was that Jon Favreau went and started pitching everything to be this Boba Fett story. And when he pitched it, they were like, sorry, dude, we are already doing Boba Fett and we've already hired Josh Trank and he's making the show. So then he revised and came back with The Mandalorian itself. And when he brought that back, that was right around the time that the Trank thing had completely died. And then they were going to bring on somebody else. There was rumored to be James Mangold to do Boba Fett, and then that was falling through at the time. Whatever that movie, it didn't get picked back up, and they were like, "Yeah, go move forward." And then that's why Mando became the first show. That's how I heard that it happened. It might not be true. I don't know. I mean, I would assume it's true because everything else was true, but that's how I heard it, anyways. So,
yeah, that's how I remember it. Probably because you said it.
Yeah.
At the time, and my version of events is how you were reporting them.
Joel says, "I love Book of Boba." See, like Joel loves Book of Boba. And for the record, like I like Book of Boba. There's as chapters. If I break it, if we break it apart, there's like chapters where you're like, oh, like the train episode with the natives and stuff. Like there's really good stuff in there. And then the Mando episodes are really good, but it's just it coherently as a body of work, as a season of a show or whatever. That's where it fails me. That's where it lets me
guy,
down.
it goes nowhere.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? The fucking
Yeah.
Nikto dudes that were pointless. He just blows them up. Okay. You know, the fucking huts that come and disappear for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
You know, like just it goes on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
And on.
It's definitely like all of those threads could be picked up in The Mandalorian or whatever. But if they do go with another season, I hope that they really make it coherent, like cohesive is what I should say, not coherent, cohesive. So that way every episode is playing into the other one in some way, or the path makes sense as opposed to just being and then because that's what we don't like here. But I have to go. I have to pick up the kids from school. Today is an early day. I just remembered. And I once again would like to thank our sponsor.
Hearts of Kyber, high in fiber, thermal exhaust port to your colon.
The strongest stars have hearts of kyber.
Thank you guys. We'll be back tomorrow talking about Disney Plus Day and doing our thing. So everyone be cool. We'll see you later. Bye.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.